Chapter 5677, Help Me Up, I Can Still Save People. Due to Yunchuji's heroic performance, everyone's attitude towards Yunchujo had changed drastically. During the night camping, everyone came to visit, especially the few people who were saved by her. They were extremely grateful. Hey Shinjo said with difficulty, we are classmates, how can we not save them? This is what I should do. Hearing that, everyone was immediately filled with respect. Looking at Yen Qingcheng's awareness, it was more than one level higher than theirs. They were really ashamed of their inferiority. After He Shinjo set up her good character, her eyes fell on Xiao Lianping, who had been secretly sizing her up. Very good. Wasn't it just borrowing beasts to kill people? She knew how to do it too. Let's wait and see. The next day, everyone continued on their journey. Because He Shinjo was seriously injured, she was carried on the soft bed. It was a great feeling. Not only did everyone have no objection to this, they even fought to carry the soft couch. Yen Qingcheng was willing to sacrifice herself to save her, so it was only right for them to do something. In the afternoon, everyone found another place where lightning-struck rocks were produced. Although there were no thunder moth here, there were thunder-devouring rats. They could shoot out several wind blades and burrow into the ground at any time. Then, they would launch an unexpected attack, making everyone miserable. He Shinjo, who was lying on the soft couch, saw that a student was in danger. This guy wanted to verify whether the thunder-devouring rat's attack could be used for his own use. Therefore, he jumped out of the soft couch and once again acted as a human shield. Everyone's admiration for her was like a torrential river. Yen Qingcheng was really too kind. She was already like this, yet she was still saving people. What kind of compassion was this? The reincarnation of Guanyin was only so. He Shinjo got her wish and was struck by the wind blade of the thunder-devouring rat. She realized that the lightning power contained in the wind blade could also be used for her own use. It was simply beautiful. Moreover, she realized that since the thunder-devouring rat was of a higher level than the thunder-poison moth, the lightning power contained in its attack was also much more. In this case, wouldn't she earn more if she was attacked by a higher-level thunder-type demonic beast? Therefore, when this fellow noticed that there was a thunder-devouring rat that was much larger in size, his eyes immediately lit up and he decided to verify his guess. Hence, this fellow once again flew over to save her, successfully causing her body to be covered in wounds. It was as miserable as it could be. Yunchujo was once again carried back onto the soft couch. She said with difficulty, "Help me up, I can still save her." The people were so moved and shocked that words could not describe it. The scene of Yunchujo bathing in blood and asking for battle was deeply engraved in their minds, and they would never forget it for the rest of their lives. Therefore, everyone immediately became full of fighting spirit and bravely killed the enemy. They burst out with amazing potential and actually killed all the thunder-eating mushrooms and thunder-eating rats in this place very quickly. Yunchujo, was there a need to be so exaggerated? She had not even had the time to borrow the beasts to kill people. Was it over just like that? Alright then, Xiao Lianping would be lucky. Let him live another day. However, what Yunchujo did not expect was that in the next 2 days, she would become the focus of protection. During every battle, Sect Master Yuan would send people to watch her so that she would not take the risk to save people. Not to mention finding a way to kill Xiao Lianping, she could not even release Xiao Mogu because those people stared at her with their eyes wide open, afraid that she would sacrifice herself for others. He Shinjo asked the heavens speechlessly, did she suffer retribution? Chapter 5678, I can't just stand by and watch her die. He Shinjo repeatedly promised that she would not be impulsive and save her again. Sect Master Yuan saw that although her face was a little pale, she was no longer in serious danger, so he removed the few student supervision of her. Sect Master Yuan was also somewhat puzzled. Yen Qingcheng had been injured repeatedly. Although it was only superficial wounds, her recovery speed was indeed much faster than the average person. However, he did not think too much about it and attributed it to Yunchujia's unique constitution. Yun Shujio looked at the battlefield and her gaze met with Xiao Lianping's. Xiao Lianping was rather depressed these few days. He had thought that Yun Shujio would die after being poisoned by the thunderclap poison moth. Who would have thought that not only did she not die, but she had also become a hero? He did not even have the chance to strike again. He was filled with hatred in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. He could only look for another opportunity. Yun Shujio saw the flash of viciousness in his eyes, and a faint smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Was it not good to be alive? She had to court death. After another 2 days, under Yun Shujia's insistence, she joined the battle. Xiao Lianping's heart was filled with joy. The opportunity had come. He did the same thing. During the battle, he once again moved behind Yun Shujio, wanting to repeat the same trick. Xiao Lianping planned to anger a meerkat. When he dodged, the wind blades shot out by the meerkat would attack Yun Shujia's back. The level of this meerkat was higher than the previous thunder poison moth and thunder devouring rat. If all the wind blades hit Yun Shujia's life would be over. Xiao Lianping planned and did the same thing. However, when he dodged to the side, he stumbled and didn't dodge. Most of the wind blades shot out by the meerkat landed on his body. Moreover, he had deliberately provoked the meerkat. The meerkat pounced at him with a fierce look in its eyes. Xiao Lianping hurriedly raised his spiritual energy shield and commanded his spiritual beast to resist the meerkat. This way, he could hold on until Sect Master Yuan came to save him. At this moment, Yun Shujio turned her head and cried out in alarm, "Be careful. I'll save you." As he spoke, he threw out a huge fireball to attack the thunder mongoose. Unfortunately, his accuracy wasn't good. The fireball didn't hit the thunder mongoose, but it hit Xiao Lianping's spiritual beast instead. The fireball contained the flames of a small flame, which immediately knocked the spiritual beast back a few steps. Xiao Lianping was so angry that he was about to die. He cursed, "You bitch." In his anger, his spiritual power output was not stable. The thunder meerkat directly tore open his spiritual power shield with its claws and bit at his throat. Yun Shujio seemed to have finally reacted and exclaimed, "I can't just stand by and do nothing. I'll help you." "No, you said that you won't let me help you." "Then, should I help you or not?" "It's really too complicated." Xiao Lianping almost died from anger. He used his last bit of strength to roll to the side, dodging the attack of the thunder fox mongoose. Then, he was pleasantly surprised to see that Sect Master Yuan had already jumped over. His heart relaxed. As long as Sect Master Yuan made a move, he would be saved. However, he saw Yun Shujio grab Sect Master Yuan. "Sect Master," Xiao Lianping said that he doesn't need anyone to save him. "I think he wants to die and survive. He wants to stimulate his potential at a critical moment. Please don't make a move first." Xiao Lianping was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He was about to beg Sect Master Yuan to save him when the thunder mongoose pounced on him. Its sharp teeth bit his throat. Chapter 5679, Loss of Contact. Seeing this, Sect Master Yuan hurriedly struck out with his palm, sending the thunder meerkat flying. However, the thunder meerkat's teeth were extremely sharp, and Xiao Lianping couldn't be any more dead. The corners of his eyes were wide open in anger, filled with resentment and unwillingness. Yun Shujio slapped her thigh. "Heavens! This Xiao Lianping is playing too much. Even if he wants to stimulate his potential, he has to do it within his means. He actually didn't let anyone save him. This is great, his little life is at Sect Master Yuan." Some of the students saw the entire process, but no one raised any objections. Yan Qingxing was so kind to want to save him, but he himself said that there was no need, so he couldn't blame anyone else. Sect Master Yuan wasn't stupid, so he naturally could see that Yun Shujio was doing this on purpose. He recalled the incident in the cultivation room and the incident with the thunderclap moth a few days ago. It was no wonder that Yan Qingqing hated this Xiao Lianping. Moreover, it was obvious that Xiao Lianping was trying to harm himself instead of others. He deserved it. Therefore, Sect Master Yuan pretended not to notice Yun Chujia's intention and said indifferently, yes, he was too strong-willed and gave up his life in vain. Sect Master Yuan's words determined this matter. Xiao Lianping's death was entirely his own fault and had nothing to do with others. In the next few days, there was no danger. Although some students in the lower house were injured, no one lost their lives. Although they didn't find many lightning strike stones, everyone was still satisfied. Of course, some people were very dissatisfied, such as He Xinjiu. The further they went, the fewer the number of lightning-devouring mushrooms and the corresponding amount of lightning spiritual force underground. This fellow could only watch as others picked up the lightning strike stones. She was so envious and jealous that she was about to be angered. However, there was nothing she could do. She could only curse Deputy Director Xiaofu to be struck by lightning when she had nothing to do. Not to mention, she would occasionally accidentally curse him a few times, and it really succeeded. Sect Master Yuan was puzzled. He had heard that the scale of the heavenly lightning in this Thunder Valley was relatively large every time. Why were there always sporadic heavenly lightning strikes recently? It was really strange. Seeing that the promised half-month period was almost up, Sect Master Yuan led everyone back to the fork in the road. However, the promised day had passed, but there was no sign of Vice Director Xiaofu and the others. During this period, Sect Master Yuan had sent a voice transmission talisman to Sect Master Hao of the Middle Courtyard, but he was surprised to find that it had not been sent successfully. Another day had passed, but there was still no news from the upper and middle courtyards. Sect Master Yuan tried to contact Vice Director Xiaofu and the others through the others from the academy, but they were unsuccessful. Sect Master Yuan was in a difficult position. Although some things had happened previously, he was still a member of the academy, so he couldn't just stand by and watch them die. However, even Vice Director Xiaofu and the others were in danger. If he brought the students from the lower house with him, wouldn't he be like a sheep in the tiger's mouth? He had wasted the lives of these people. Of course, they could also wait for the academy to send people to rescue them, but this would delay them for a few days. Far water could not quench the thirst. Sect Master Yuan was in a dilemma and finally made a decision. I have reported this matter to the academy. The people who will pick us up will arrive in 4 days. You should return to the shallows immediately and wait. The people of the academy will escort you back to the academy safely. Hearing this, everyone immediately asked, what about you, Sect Master? Sect Master Yuan took a deep breath and said, I will go and check out the situation ahead. Maybe I can get some useful information. Everyone did not want Sect Master Yuan to be in danger. After all, it was Vice Director Xiaofu who forced them to the side road. Now he had to risk his life to save them. Why? Chapter 5680. Although everyone thought so, they knew that since Sect Master Yuan had already said so, it meant that he had already made a decision. There was no point in saying anything. They could only reluctantly return to the shallows under the lead of a few group leaders. Watching the students leave, Sect Master Yuan took a deep breath and walked toward the main road. On the other side, He Xinjiu walked with the crowd for a while. She blinked her eyes and said, you guys keep walking. I'll go find Sect Master Yuan. The crowd naturally did not agree. They tried to persuade her, Yanqingqing, although you mean well, it's too dangerous. You can't go. Yes, it's not that I don't like your words. Your cultivation is too low. If you go, you'll only cause trouble for Sect Master Yuan. You'd better follow us obediently. Yun Chujiu saw that everyone had a strong feeling that if she had to go, she would be tied up. She could only pretend to be convinced. Alright, then I'll listen to you guys. This fellow couldn't help but feel sad in her heart. Sigh, sometimes it was also bad to have a kind person set up too well. If it was in the past, no one would care about her life and death, allowing her to chase after Sect Master Yuan. When everyone saw that she had given up on the idea, they continued on their journey. However, at dawn the next day, everyone was stunned to find that Yunchujo had disappeared without a trace. Instead, she left a note, "I'll go and help Sect Master Yuan. Don't worry, it'll be fine. See you later." Everyone was dumbfounded and could only send a voice transmission talisman to Sect Master Yuan. Sect Master Yuan told them to return to the shallows according to their original plan. He would take care of Yan Qingcheng's matter. On the other side, He Xinjiu left the camp in the dark. She rode the giant rabbit and dashed towards the main road. Of course, this fellow was not trying to save her out of good intentions. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to get more power of lightning. It was an opportunity that could not be missed. It was rare for her to come out. If she did not get enough, wouldn't she lose her life? As for the dangers, this fellow didn't care about them at all. Didn't Director Xiaofu say that the greatest dangers here were the lightning-type demon beasts and heavenly lightning? What a joke! Not only were these things not dangerous to her, they were also supplements. The kind that was extremely nutritious. However, she was soon tired. This fellow told the giant rabbit to continue on its journey while she lay on its back and slept soundly. While she was sleeping soundly, the giant rabbit let out a hurried cry. Yunchujo reluctantly opened her eyes. A blue light flashed in front of her, and a demonic beast that looked somewhat like a wolf blocked her way. There was a red moon-shaped mark between its brows, and its eyes were emitting a deep blue light. She didn't know what level it was exactly. Yunchujia's face was a little gloomy. There was nothing she could do. She had been getting up quite badly recently. She said coldly, "Get lost. If you don't get lost, PLL kill you." The demon wolf felt that the little girl in front of it was most likely stupid. Did she not know what was going on? How dare she talk to it like that? She was really courting death. The demon wolf opened its bloody mouth and shot out several silver wind blades towards Yunchujia's face. Yunchujo immediately used her spiritual energy shield to protect herself and the giant rabbit, blocking the wind blades. She jumped off the rabbit's back and put the giant rabbit into her spiritual beast bag, smiling faintly. "You asked for it. Today, I'll show you what a real thunder spirit root is." Yunchujo raised her hand as she spoke, and several purple lightning bolts shot towards the demon wolf. The demon wolf was obviously shocked by the purple lightning bolts. Chapter 5681, Wolf Howl Purple. This wretched girl has a heavenly thunder spirit root? The demon wolf was stunned at first, then it was ecstatic. If it ate this wretched girl with a heavenly thunder spirit root, it might be of great benefit to its cultivation. Although this little girl had a heavenly thunder spirit root, her cultivation could not be compared to it at all. It would be able to kill her very soon. The demon wolf let out an arrogant roar, and then it pounced towards Yunchujo. Normally, Yunchujo would have released the Gowei Batsao and the other dumb cuties to help. However, this fellow was now enveloped by the anger of waking up. His entire body was filled with hostility and he decided to attack by himself. She held the large kitchen knife and charged straight towards the demon wolf. She allowed the silver wind blade that it shot to hit her body, but she did not dodge. Even though she was drenched in blood, it did not slow her speed. The demon wolf was freaking out. Was this human girl a lunatic? Why didn't she dodge her attack? Furthermore, according to common sense, she should have died a long time ago after being hit by so many silver wind blades. Why was she still alive and kicking? The demon wolf was too shocked. It did not even think of dodging and one of its ears was cut off by Yunchujo. The demon wolf cried out in pain and attacked Yunchujo crazily. However, Yunchujo didn't dodge at all and let it attack. She waved her big kitchen knife and slashed continuously. "Fuck. I told you to stop me from sleeping. I'll chop you to death. Why didn't you sleep at night? Why did you come out to be a demon? Why did you come here to die? You're a lightning-type demon beast, so what? Pooey. You're a fake. No, you're a defective product. What are you shouting for? You're howling like a wolf, and you still have the nerve to come out and embarrass yourself. The demon wolf, it was howling like a wolf to begin with, all right? The demon wolf's heart was very miserable. If it was logical, this wretched girl would have died a long time ago after being attacked by it so many times, but why was she still so valiant as to raise that broken kitchen knife and chase after it? Very quickly, the demon wolf gave up on attacking and focused on escaping. Damn it, you interrupted my sleep, and you want to run away like this? No way. Don't you know how to spray wind blades? Spit it out. If you don't spit it out, you're a dog. The demon wolf thought to itself, even if it was called a pig, it would still accept it. If it encountered such a pervert, wouldn't it be waiting for death if it didn't run? The demon wolf ran as fast as it could while Yunchujo chased after it with a large kitchen knife in hand. At this moment, there were several howls coming from the front. The demon wolf was delighted. Its companion had AR. A smug look flashed across the demon wolf's eyes. It didn't believe that this smelly girl wasn't afraid of attacks at all. She must have gritted her teeth and endured it just now. HMPH, smelly girl, let's see how you can show off this time. Soon, 5 demon wolves came running from afar. Yunchujo narrowed her eyes. She was already covered in injuries. It would still hurt for a while, but it would also hurt for 2 hours. She would take the opportunity to absorb more of the power of lightning. Therefore, not only did she not retreat, she charged towards the wolf pack while howling. The 5 wolves that followed were all dumbfounded. This was a crazy woman, right? Shouldn't normal people just turn around and run? Why did she come to their doorstep? The demonic wolf from before let out an impatient howl. The other 5 demonic wolves finally regained their senses and shot silver wind blades at Yunchujo one after another. Yunchujo simply stopped where she was and said to them, "Come, come. I'll let you guys attack as you wish. Whoever admits defeat first will be a turtle bastard." Chapter 5682 Admitting defeat. The 6 demonic wolves' tempers flared up as well. Io, who doesn't have any self-respect? Even wolves have to be shameless. Who's going to admit defeat first? Tui. They only needed to blink their eyes to chop this smelly girl to death. Since she was courting death, then let her have it. Release the wind blades and cut her into 1,000 pieces. Therefore, the 6 demon wolves desperately sprayed the wind blades at Yunchujo. Hei Shinjo only protected the vital parts of her body. They could attack the rest of her body at will. After all, the Guai Chao could heal her wounds in no time. After a while, Hei Shinjo said kindly, "It's too inefficient for you to only attack one side. Come, surround me and attack me at a 360-degree angle. That way, you can chop me to death sooner." The 6 demonic wolves were furious, but they still formed a circle and shot out wind blades with all their might. They were sure that this brat would not be able to hold on for long. However, an hour later, even though Yunchujia's clothes were soaked in blood, she was still standing calmly in the middle. Not only did she not die, she was even more energetic. You guys should use more strength. Are you all sheep in wolf skin? You are so useless. Yunchujo said while eating melon seeds. Wolves could be killed but not humiliated. They were bullying the wolves. The 6 demon wolves immediately used all their strength and continued to shoot wind blades while howling. However, after another 15 minutes, the 6 demon wolves were so tired that they were panting. Their legs were a little weak and they almost collapsed on the ground. On the other hand, the little girl who was surrounded by them was even more lively. Her eyes were so bright that they were almost shoulder to shoulder with the stars in the sky. The 6 demon wolves wanted to cry, but they had no tears. What kind of pervert had they encountered? How could there be such a heaven-defying pervert in this world? Hey, don't stop. Keep spraying. I'm waiting. Anyway, these clothes are dirty, don't waste them. Hurry up, keep spraying. The 6 demon wolves looked at each other. There was no need to waste time on this pervert. Retreat. They were dreaming. They could only run 2 steps when they were blocked by a giant Goeibatsao. Goeibatsao wrapped the 6 demon wolves with its leaves and threw them in front of Yunchujo. Normally, Goeibatsao would not be so easy to get. However, the 6 demon wolves had used up all their spiritual power, so they could not fight back. Yunchujo held the large kitchen knife and sneered. If you want to spray it, then spray it. If you don't want to spray it, then don't spray it. In your dreams. Spray it all. If anyone doesn't spray it, PLL kill. The 6 demonic wolves were almost regretting their actions, especially the 5 that came later. They hated the previous wolf. Since they knew that this stupid girl was so perverted, why didn't they tell them? That demonic wolf was also aggrieved. Who knew that this brat was so perverted? If they had known earlier, they wouldn't have provoked her, alright? Moreover, was there any use in saying all this now? It was better to continue spraying wind blades. Thus, under Hei Xinjia's coercion, the 6 demonic wolves continued spraying wind blades. They felt that in the future, they would have a shadow over the spraying wind blades. This was using their lives to shoot wind blades. In the end, the 6 demonic wolves rolled their eyes and passed out while foaming at the mouth. Yunchujo took out a basin of cold water and splashed them awake. Continue to shoot. The 6 demonic wolves kneeled on the ground at the same time. They admitted defeat. They were turtle bastards. Let them go. Chapter 5683 How terrifying it was to be uncultured. Yunchujo looked at the 6 demonic wolves kneeling on the ground, and a smile blossomed on her face that the 6 demonic wolves would never forget. That smile made the 6 demonic wolves tremble, and it made them tremble from the bottom of their bones. It was terrifying, too terrifying. The woman who was covered in blood was like an Azura from hell. No, a demon. A female demon. This wretched girl must have thought of some evil plan to torture them. Could they still see the sun tomorrow? You interrupted my sleep and slashed me so miserably. Shouldn't you compensate me? Yunchujo said with a cold smile. The 6 demon wolves were filled with hatred. You interrupted my sleep and cut me so miserably? Wouldn't it hurt her conscience to say that? How tired were they to chop her up? They were clearly the victims. I'll give you 2 choices. One is to die, and the other is to sign a temporary contract with me. Which one do you choose? The 6 demon wolves, there was clearly only one choice, alright? However, their eyes flashed with a strange light. This wretched girl was only at the 9th level of spirit extinguisher. They were demonic beasts at the 4th level of the moon seal. Their spiritual sense was stronger than hers by a bit. They wanted to establish a temporary contract with them. Very soon, she would know what it meant to throw a stone at her own feet. It meant that she had overestimated herself. When the time came, they would give her a backlash and kill her. Yunchujo naturally did not miss the cunning in the eyes of the 6 demonic wolves. There was only one thought in her mind. Uncultured, how terrifying. One ear, come over. I'll establish a temporary contract with you first, Yunchujo said to the demon wolf that had one ear cut off by her. The freshly baked one ear forcefully suppressed its hatred and crawled in front of Yunchujo. It wanted to stand up, but unfortunately, it had the heart but was powerless. Yunchujo first established a spiritual connection with one ear, and then began to establish a temporary contract with it. One ear's eyes flickered. The opportunity to turn defeat into victory, to take revenge, and to avenge its previous humiliation was coming. However, when it established a temporary contract with Yunchujo, it felt a huge suppression from its spiritual sense, and it almost spat out a mouthful of wolf blood. Backlash my ass. Its little spiritual sense was like a small raindrop falling into the sea, and it still wanted to retaliate? It was simply overestimating its own ability. After One Ear realized this, it immediately threw its wild ambition to the back of its mind and crawled to the side to play dead. The other 5 demon wolves were instantly enraged. This idiot! Where was the backlash that was agreed upon? Why didn't it do anything? What a waste! Yunchujo glanced at the 5 demon wolves and yawned. Let's do it together, so as to not waste time. She had contracted an ear just to be on the safe side. Now that she saw that it wasn't difficult, she said so. But the 5 demonic wolves didn't know that. They laughed wildly in their hearts. It seemed that One Ear was deliberately pretending to be timid to lower her vigilance. They didn't expect that One Ear was actually quite smart. The 5 demonic wolves looked at each other and then crawled in front of Yunchujo. Then, there was no then. The 5 demon wolves obediently lay beside One Ear. It was not that they were too cowardly, but that the other party was too abnormal. Yunchujo glanced at them and asked, "Where is your nest?" One Ear drooped its head and said, "Our nest was destroyed by you humans, and the lightning stones inside were also taken away. It was not easy for us to escape." Chapter 5684 Deserved to be struck by lightning. Another demon wolf said with some lingering fear, "Those people wanted to kill us all. Fortunately, the leader was unlucky enough to be struck by lightning, so we took advantage of the chaos to escape." The other demon wolves echoed, "It must be God's blessing that allowed us to escape. Otherwise, we definitely wouldn't have survived. Yeah, that heavenly lightning strike came at the right time. If it wasn't for the fact that he was in a hurry to escape, would really like to see what kind of state he was in. These vicious humans came to compete with us for the lightning strike stone for no reason. They deserve to be struck by lightning. That's right. It's best if all the humans are struck to death by the heavenly lightning, lest they shamelessly come to snatch our lightning strike stone." Just as the few demon wolves were having a lively conversation, they suddenly realized that they had said something wrong. This stinky girl in front of them was also a human. Didn't they scold her too? After realizing this, the 6 demon wolves immediately started to tremble. Yunchujo glanced at them. "You guys said that I deserve to be struck by lightning?" The 6 demon wolves were shaking so much that they were about to turn into sieves. It was over. It was over. They definitely wouldn't be able to see the sun tomorrow. Well said. I deserve to be struck by lightning. The heavens should send down lightning to kill me. You guys are very good at talking. PM very satisfied. Yunchujo said with a smile. The 6 demon wolves. Is this brat crazy? Yunchujo yawned. Have the lightning strike stones nearby been plundered by those people from before? One of the ears came back to his senses and quickly said, "Yes, not only did they plunder the lightning strike stones, but they also killed all the monsters guarding them. As a result, we have been starving for several days. That's why we came here to hunt." Yunchujo thought of the disappearance of Director Xiaofu and the others and asked, "Where did those people go after that? Why haven't they returned?" An expression of schadenfreude flashed across one of her ears. If PM not wrong, those people must have gone to the Cave of Death. There is no return from the Cave of Death. Once they enter, they will definitely die. Cave of Death? No one had ever mentioned that there was a Cave of Death in the Thunder Valley. One of her ears seemed to have noticed Yunchuji's confusion and explained, that Cave of Death was formed a few months ago. There were scattered thunderstones at the entrance of the cave, and faint crackling sounds could be heard from inside. Many demon beasts had guessed that there would be a large number of lightning stones inside, so they fought to enter the cave. However, until now, not a single demon beast had come out, and no demon beasts dared to enter after that. This was also the reason why the humans had been able to pass through unimpeded. If not for the fact that most of the demon beasts had entered the Cave of Death, they definitely wouldn't have been able to take advantage of it. Humph, those humans are insatiable. They must have all entered the Death Cave. They deserve to die in there. Yunchujo did not have a good impression of Director Xiaofu and the others. Therefore, even though she knew that they had entered the death cave, she did not plan to save them. She was not a good person. What this fellow was concerned about was how to get more power of lightning. Although the lightning strike stones had been picked up by Director Xiaofu and the others, there might still be residual power of lightning underground. Even the legs of a mosquito were meat. He Xinjiu yawned. You should know where the lightning stone is produced along the way, right? Take me in to have a look. Maybe I can find something. One ear twitched his mouth. Those people picked it up very carefully. How could there be anything missing? You'd better not waste your effort. Chapter 5685 or not. Yun Shujiu glanced at one of her ears. Why are you talking so much nonsense? You still want to spray wind blades, don't you? One of her ears immediately trembled. Master, you are right. There will definitely be some who slip through the net. We will bring you to look for them now. Yun Shujiu curled her lips. Demon beasts were born with the ability to act according to the wind. There was no need to train them. She saw that there was still some time before daybreak, so she threw some demonic beast meat to the 6 demonic wolves to replenish their strength. Then, she took out the omnipotent small tent to sleep. Although the 6 demonic wolves felt that the level of the demonic beast meat that Yun Shujiu threw to them was too low, they were already starving. No matter what, it was more important to fill their stomachs first. Yun Shujiu slept until daybreak. She stretched and walked out of the small tent. The 6 demon wolves had recovered their strength and spiritual power, but when they saw He Xinjiu, their legs went weak subconsciously. Yun Shujiu ate some simple food and threw a lot of demon beast meat to the 6 demon wolves before continuing her journey. However, this time, He Xinjiu did not ride the giant rabbit, but rode the wolf instead. Soon, they arrived at a place where lightning-struck rocks were produced. There were still traces of blood on the ground, and it was impossible to tell if it was human or demon beast blood. There were many pits dug on the ground. It must have been caused by Director Xiaofu and the others to pick up the lightning stone. One ear used its claws to pull a few times and said, "It's all taken away. There's nothing left." Yun Shujiu ignored it and directly released Xiao Mogu. Xiao Mogu's mycelium quickly spread underground. It really found some of the lightning power stored in the lightning mushroom and even found a few lightning stone. The 6 demon wolves were all dumbfounded. No wonder this stupid girl was so sure that she could pick up something. It turned out that she had this strange Xiao Mogu. However, wasn't she afraid that the stored power of lightning would be too violent? Did she dare to directly absorb it? The 6 demon wolves immediately recalled the unbearable memories from last night. It was also true that she was a pervert. Even if she could absorb the power of lightning, it would be normal, right? The lightning stone producing areas on the main road were very dense. Although there were times when she missed, Yun Shujiu still had some gains. She was simply happy. It was also because she had been picking up scraps from the various lightning stone producing areas that she missed Sect Master Yuan, who had turned around to look for her. Sect Master Yuan saw that he could not find her, so he could only continue to turn around to look for Deputy Director Xiaofu and the others. He Xinjiu picked up some scraps along the way and arrived near the legendary Cave of Death. The 6 demon wolves were afraid that she would seek her own death, so they tried to persuade her not to think too hard and not to go into the Cave of Death. He Xinjiu could not help but laugh. She had not intended to go in, so what were they worried about? Director Xiaofu and so many others were trapped inside. What could she do by herself? Besides, if she counted the days, the reinforcements from the 10 Directions Academy would arrive by tomorrow at the latest. There was no need for her to take the risk. Just as Yun Shujiu was about to turn around and leave, a scream came from the Cave of Death. Yun Shujiu stopped in her tracks. The voice seemed to be the voice of Sect Master Yuan. If it was anyone else, she could pretend not to hear it. However, although Sect Master Yuan used to hold a grudge against her, he had been treating her well recently. Did he care or not? This fellow finally sighed and walked towards the Cave of Death. The 6 demon wolves were about to cry. What happened to not going in? What happened to cherishing life? They did not want to go in, but now that they had established a temporary contract with Yunchujo, they could only shiver and follow behind Yunchujo. Chapter 5686. No way. The 6 demonic wolves were so regretful that their intestines were turning green. If they could turn back time, they would not have provoked this wretched girl. If they were to enter the death cave, how could they survive? Yunchujo ignored the resentful gaze that came from behind her. As she walked forward, she sized up the so-called death cave. The scene inside the cave was really different from the so-called death cave. Although the sunlight could not shine in, there was a faint, magnificent light that was emitted from the rocks on the cave walls. The 6 demon wolves were even more afraid. The experience of their ancestors told them that the more beautiful something was, the more dangerous it was. This death cave was really too terrifying. They didn't know if it was an illusion or not, but they vaguely heard the sound of liquid dripping. One of their ears trembled as they used their divine sense to say, "Master, did you hear any strange sounds? Maybe it was the sound of blood dripping." "Woo, it's too terrifying. Master, let's go out." The person who asked for help had lost his voice. He must be dead. If the wolf doesn't do it for himself, heaven and earth will destroy him. Don't worry about him. Yunchujo didn't stop walking. If he's alive, well, see him. If he's dead, well, see his corpse. There was no choice. The 6 demon wolves had no choice but to follow her. Suddenly, an ear said in surprise, "Look! The top of the cave in front. This. The roof of the cave was like the sky outside, with blue sky and white clouds. It was very realistic. If she didn't know that she was in the cave of death, she would have thought that it was really the sky. Yunchujo originally thought that the blue sky and white clouds were formed by a formation. After taking a closer look, she actually found that it was a natural pattern formed by the rocks on the roof of the cave. It could be said that it was a work of art. After walking for a while, she finally knew the origin of the sound of the liquid dripping. The pattern at the top of the cave in front of her changed from blue sky and white clouds to dark clouds. There were also sparse drops of water falling from the top of the cave, just like a drizzle. However, after the raindrops fell to the ground, they were almost instantly absorbed by the stone slabs on the ground, which made people feel very strange. The 6 demon wolves could not help but stop in their tracks. The water must be poisonous. We can't go over. If we go over, we will be corroded into blood. Master, forget it. We have walked so far and still haven't seen anyone. They must be dead. Let's go back. Yes, Master. Let's go and pick up the leftovers. It's too scary inside. Yunchujo was speechless. These 6 fellows were even more timid than rabbits. How did they survive until now? Actually, it was not the fault of these 6 demonic wolves. The main reason was that many demonic beasts had entered this death cave and did not leave. If they were not afraid, they would have seen a ghost. Yunchujo put the 6 demonic wolves into her spiritual beast bag. Then, she propped up her spiritual energy barrier and walked over unhurriedly. The biggest threat of the rain was nothing more than poison. This point was negligible to her. At this moment, Goei Butsao suddenly took control of her body and said, "Grandmother, this liquid is good stuff. Let me drink enough before I leave." Yunchujo, you should give up on this idea. Yunchujo naturally wouldn't waste any time here, so she mercilessly rejected Goei Bukao's request. It won't take long. If that sect master Yuan was going to die, he would have died a long time ago. If he wasn't dead, it wouldn't have taken much longer. Use your kitchen knife to cut a hole there, and it'll soon be full. No way. Chapter 5687, Opening the window. Goei Butsao rolled her eyes. You don't want to have sex anymore? Think about that fiend's figure. Aren't you afraid that you'll let other coquettish bitches get away with it? Hee, open the window. Go away Butsao. This black-hearted bitch was even more perverted than it was. It was only pursuing a beautiful spiritual exchange, but she was good. She only wanted to have sex all day long. Pervert. Of course, Go-Wei Batsao would not say these words out loud, so it quickly returned its body to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou jumped up with a large kitchen knife and slashed at the spot where Go-Wei Ba was pointing, and then there was liquid flowing down. Yun Chuzhou raised her head and drank all the liquid. In fact, there was not much in total. She did not know if it was Yun Chuzhi's misconception, but she felt the ground tremble. After passing through this rain area, Yun Chuzhou released the 6 demon wolves and continued on her journey. The 6 demon wolves were exceptionally obedient with their tails tucked between their legs, because they had seen the scene just now in the spiritual beast bag. Although they did not know the existence of the Guai Chao, the way Yun Chuzhou talked to herself just now, even a fool would be able to tell that it was very strange. Moreover, she actually drank all the liquid. It was really too scary. However, this fear quickly turned into excitement. Because not long after they walked out, they heard a crackling sound. In the distance, there were many thunderstones scattered on the ground. Master, we're rich. Haha. Master is still wise. This death cave isn't that scary. Yes, so we are right to listen to Master. We have meat to eat and lightning stones to take with Master. It is so wonderful. No wonder Master insisted on entering the cave of death. She knew that there were lightning stones in here. Yun Chuzhou was speechless at these flatterers. Perhaps they could survive until now because of their flattery skills. As the 6 demon wolves spoke, they dashed forward, wishing that they could keep all the thunderstones. If you want to die, then go and pick them up, Yun Chuzhou said lightly. The 6 demon wolves were stunned on the spot. What did she mean? Are you idiots? If there was no problem with the thunderstones, would you still be here to pick them up? Although the 6 demon wolves were displeased that they were called idiots, they thought about it and felt that Yun Chuzhi's words made sense. There were so many demon beasts and humans who came in earlier, and they were not blind. There was no reason for them not to pick up the thunderstones. Master, then what should we do? Walk over and pretend that you didn't see those lightning strike stones. If any of you want to die, then go and pie. The 6 demon wolves had one advantage, and that was that they were tactful and immediately agreed obediently. However, when they passed by those lightning strike stones, each and every one of them felt so much pain that they were about to twitch. Following that, they encountered a few similar situations in succession. Moreover, the more lightning strike stones there were, the more the 6 demon wolves felt itchy. There were a few times when they wanted to reach out their claws to pick up the lightning-struck rocks. However, when they thought about it, they realized that even the pervert in front did not dare to pick up the lightning-struck rocks. It was better for them to not take the risk. After turning another corner, the scene in front of them changed again. The ceiling of the cave became the night sky. It was filled with stars. It was as realistic as the night sky. If there was a difference, there was one. There was no moon in the night sky. There were only stars. One of the ears mumbled, "The owner of this cave is really interesting. If you want to see the blue sky, white clouds, and stars, go outside. Why do you have to do all this in your own cave? Isn't it troublesome?" Chapter 5688, I have the fire spirit root. Yun Chuzhou stopped in her tracks. A faint light flashed in her eyes. The reason is naturally very simple. He can't get out. One of the ears was just casually saying it. Hearing Yun Chuzhi's words, it immediately shivered. Then we'd better not go in. That thing must be very powerful. As soon as one of the ears finished speaking, a huge suction force came from the depths of the cave. Yun Chuzhou and the 6 demon wolves were sucked into the depths of the cave. The 6 demon wolves immediately let out a miserable cry. It wasn't because they were in much pain, but because they were afraid. They felt that they were definitely going to die this time. Yunchujio also gave a few symbolic shouts. She didn't know the other party's strength, so playing the pig to eat the tiger was a good choice. The 6 demon wolves and Yunchujio fell to the ground in a sorry state. When they looked closely, they realized that this was an extremely spacious stone hall. Half of the cave's ceiling was blue sky and white clouds, while the other half was filled with stars. There was still no sun or moon. The surroundings were a circle of cages. There were many demon beasts and many cultivators locked inside. Among them were Vice Director Xiaofu, Sect Master Yuan, and the others. However, regardless of whether it was the demon beasts or the cultivators, they were all injured to varying degrees. Moreover, their eyes were red. No matter how they looked at it, it didn't seem normal. At this moment, an old man with a cold expression walked out of nowhere. He laughed strangely as he sized up Yunchujio and the 6 demonic wolves. The 6 demonic wolves were frightened by the cold aura that he emitted, and they trembled in fear. They hid behind Yunchujio without a care in the world. As Yunchujio's small body was too small, the 6 demonic wolves automatically lined up in a row. Yunchujio. The old man was obviously stunned as well. He sized up Yunchujio and asked, "Are these thunder beast wolves your spiritual pets?" "How did you tame?" Yunchujio shivered and said, "They fainted from hunger by the roadside, so I took the opportunity to establish a temporary contract with them. After they woke up, they wanted to bite back, but because I could provide them with food, they followed me." The 6 demon wolves. They sounded like good-for-nothings. They were obviously forced to do this, all right? The old man smiled non-committally. "No matter how you subdued them, it's not important. What's important is that I happen to lack a human with a thunder spirit root and 6 thunder-type demon beasts to cultivate the great art. You guys came at the right time." The 6 demon wolves almost cried when they heard that. They said that they couldn't come in. Chapter 5689. What kind of spirit root was she? Aren't you a thunder spirit root? Aren't all the cultivators here all thunder spirit roots? How can you not be a thunder spirit root? The old man asked suspiciously. Yunchujio shrugged her shoulders and waved her hand to release a fireball. "I really am a fire spirit root. If you don't believe me, you can ask the people in the cage. They all know." The 6 demon wolves cursed in their hearts. Fire spirit root? Io, this female devil didn't even blink when she lied. Not only was she a thunder spirit root, but she also had a heavenly thunder spirit root. Of course, they weren't stupid wolves, so they naturally wouldn't say it out loud. The old man frowned. If he was at his peak, he would be able to see through her spirit root without her using her spirit energy to attack. However, he had been trapped for so long that he no longer had such an ability. Was this little girl really a fire spirit root? With a wave of his hand, he pulled out an upper academy student from the cage. He did not know how he did it, but the redness in the student's eyes disappeared. The student was stunned for a moment before he started trembling in fear. "I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please let me go." The old man said lightly, "It's not difficult to let you go. Tell me, what kind of spiritual root is this little girl?" The student only saw Yunchujio and the 6 demonic wolves now. Although he didn't know why the old man would ask this, he still quickly said, She is an audit student of the lower house of the academy. Her name is Enchanting, and she has a fire spiritual root." The old man's face suddenly darkened. He originally thought that the number of cultivators and demonic beasts had been gathered and that they could use the great magic. He didn't expect this little girl to have a fire spiritual root. It was really unlucky. "Since you have a fire spirit root, why did you enter this Thunder Valley?" Before Yunchujio could speak, the upper academy student hurriedly said, "Because of her, the thunder stone in the lower academy was ineffective. Therefore, she came over to redeem herself." "Sir, I have already said everything I know. Can you let me go?" The old man's lips curled into a sneer. "Let you go? It's not impossible. You kill her, and PLL let you go. The student nodded without any hesitation. Okay, PLL kill her now. He turned to Yunchujo. Qingsheng, don't blame me. If you don't do it for yourself, heaven and earth will destroy you. Moreover, my talent is much better than yours. My life will be more valuable than yours. If you want to blame me for being too useless. Yunchujo immediately showed an incredulous look. You can't do tea. While Yunchujo dodged to the side, she said to one of the ears, kill him. The more people we lack, the safer we will be. The 6 demon wolves immediately swarmed forward. In their simple minds, Yunchujo was now their hope for survival, so they naturally had to comply. Moreover, they had signed a temporary contract with the female devil. If she died, wouldn't they also suffer? Although the student saw the 6 demon wolves, he did not connect them to Yunchujo. Naturally, he did not expect them to suddenly attack, so he immediately lost the ability to resist. One of his ears was about to bite the student's throat, but his body was torn apart by a huge force. The other 5 demon wolves were the same. The old man waved his hand, and the student was once again thrown into the cage. His eyes also returned to their red color. Chapter 5690 Sha Mo. The old man laughed evilly. Humans are indeed the most foolish and selfish race. They will kill each other at the slightest danger. Little girl, do you hate him? Yunchujo changed her timid expression and revealed an angry expression. I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked the demon wolf to help me kill him. The old man narrowed his eyes. If you kill all the people here, I will let you go. What will you do? Yunchujo sneered. Of course I'll kill them. You heard me just now. PM just a student of the lower house in the academy. They often bully me. Even the lecturers don't look like lecturers. They treat me coldly. I've hated them to death. If I could trade them for my own life, of course I'd be happy. I have always been kind to others, but what did I get in return? If I can live, I will definitely change my way of living. I would rather betray the world than let the world betray me. You are not too stupid. Although your cultivation is a little low, I have no one to use now. You can stay and be my maid. When I get out of this predicament, I will naturally not lack your benefits. The old man said in a benevolent manner. He was not worried that Yunchujo would play any tricks. She was just a piece of trash at the 9th level of spirit extinguisher. There was no way she could play any tricks. Yunchujo immediately revealed an expression of fear and trepidation. Thank you, my lord, for not killing me. I will definitely be loyal to you. I will do anything to prove my loyalty. Do you need me to kill a few people in the prison to prove my loyalty? The old man waved his hand. I don't think you dare to play any tricks. They are still useful. It would be a waste to kill them. Then do you need me to lure a few cultivators with thunder spirit roots over? The old man sneered. No need. I think someone will come to me soon. I will never come back. No one can escape from me. Seeing this, Yunchujo flattered him a little. Then, she took out a table and chair from her storage ring, poured some tea and placed some pastries on the table. She said respectfully, Sir, please. The old man nodded with satisfaction. Although this little girl's cultivation was a little low, she knew how to cause trouble. It was not bad to keep her. His gaze fell on the 6 demon wolves. The 6 demon wolves immediately kneeled on the ground with their front legs, looking pitiful. The old man, no wonder that little girl bribed them with some food. She really didn't have the moral integrity of a demonic beast. Sir, can we keep them for now? After all, PM too weak. There are some things that I might not be able to complete without their help. If we can't gather enough demonic beasts in the end, it won't be too late for you to lock the. The old man thought for a moment. In this place, he was the ruler. There were only 6 demonic beasts, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Therefore, he nodded and agreed. The admiration of the 6 demonic wolves toward Yun Shujo was like a torrential river. The female demon was indeed powerful. The trick she taught them was indeed effective. Yun Shujo poured a cup of tea for the old man and asked, "Sir, I heard that you are not a human. Then who are you?" The old man said arrogantly, "Of course I am not a sinister human. I am a noble demon, and I am the fiercest Sha-Mo among the demons." Yun Shujia's heart skipped a beat. Sha-Mo? She had once learned the whereabouts of a few demons from a succubus, and one of them was Sha-Mo. According to the succubus, Sha-Mo was locked in the Chinkuan realm. Could this be the Chinkuan realm? Chapter 5691 If only I were a demon. Yun Shujo immediately revealed an expression of pleasant surprise and worship. "So it's Senior Sha-Mo, I've long heard of your great name. I've heard of you like thunder. Seeing you today is indeed wise and wise. Junior is truly fortunate to be able to follow Senior." The old man had been trapped here for 10,000 years and had not heard such flattery for a very long time. He felt very comfortable in his heart and nodded, "You little girl, you sure know how to talk. However, you are wrong about one thing. My name is not Sha-Mo. Sha-Mo is just one of the many races of the demon race." Yun Shijia's face revealed the perfect curiosity. "Senior, I am young and I don't have much knowledge." "What do you mean? Why can't I understand?" The old man clearly liked Yun Shijia's attentive attitude and said, "The demon race is divided into 6 major clans, namely Sky Demon, Shui-Mo, Sha-Mo, Ing-Mo, Tan-Mo and Succubus. Among them, the Sky Demon clan is the noblest, Shui-Mo is the most insidious, and we Sha-Mo are the fiercest. As for the other 3, they are all inferior clans that cannot be put on the stage." Yun Shujo pursed her lips in her heart. So it turned out that she was only ranked 3rd. This fellow ridiculed in his heart, but on the surface, he said with a face full of admiration, "So that's how it is. Listening to your words is better than reading 10 years of books. I've learned a lot. Sigh, I wish I was a demon. I'm really ashamed of being a human. I wish I could strip off this human skin and become a demon." Hearing Yun Shijia's words, the smile on the old man's face became more genuine. He said, "You don't have to be so sad. After I regain my freedom and complete my mission, I will return to the demon continent. As long as you are obedient, I will bring you back to the demon continent as well. Although the human race's situation in the demon continent isn't very good, with me taking care of you, it won't be a big problem. When the time comes, you can marry another demon, and you will be completely safe." Hearing his words, Yun Shijia's face revealed a bashful and happy expression, but her heart was filled with waves. She didn't know whether her cheap parents were from the demon race or not, and Wu JP's head might also be from the demon race. Perhaps in the future, she would really have to go to the demon continent. This Sha-Mo was just like his name, a silly demon. It was best to think of a way to control it, in case she had to go to the demon continent in the future. However, this old thing was still alive, so it wasn't easy to settle it down. It would be better if it was like Qi-Ing. If she could contract him, she could stuff him into the spirit beast pouch. Thinking of this, Yun Shujo used her spiritual sense. But face his heart, are you crazy? Contract the demon race. Why don't you go to heaven? However, what the old man said was, "Little fairy, you can even contract with me. What's a mere old demon? You can definitely contract with them." Hun Dun scoffed at Buttface's words. Just as he was about to speak, Yun Shujo cut off the spiritual sense connection with them because the old man frowned in dissatisfaction. "Why aren't you speaking? Are you secretly talking to those demon wolves? Senior, you are really sharp-eyed. I was indeed communicating with them just now. They also want to go to the demon continent, but I don't know if they can survive in the demon continent," Yun Shujo said in a flattering manner. The 6 demon wolves were so depressed that they wanted to vomit blood. They wouldn't want to go to the demon continent unless they were crazy. However, the old man believed it. After all, in his mind, the demon continent was the best continent and the holy land that all races yearned for. It was normal for the 6 demon wolves to want to go there. Chapter 5692 Taiji Diagram. The old man curled his lips. They definitely won't be able to go. If the fierce beasts are still passable, the demonic beasts and spirit beasts will be corroded to death by the demonic chi when they arrive at the demon race continent. Yun Shujio said regretfully, "That's such a pity. It's their loss that they don't have such good fortune." Senior, what great technique are you preparing to cultivate by trapping these cultivators and demonic beasts with thunder spirit roots? Do you need me to do any preparations? The old man was now certain that Yun Shujio had completely submitted to him, so he did not hide anything. He said, "I have been trapped in this Chinkuan arcane realm for many years. Although my life is not in danger, the days I have been trapped here are really depressing. The seal of this Chinkuan arcane realm is quite strong. Even if I used demonic chi to corrode it for 10,000 years, it only loosened a little. It was precisely because the seal loosened a little that the universe secret realm surfaced from the ground. I racked my brains to come up with a method. The power of lightning is the strongest power in this world. Only by borrowing the power of lightning can I completely break the seal. Coincidentally, I know of an array formation. By burning their spiritual roots, they can obtain extremely strong power of lightning. This way, they might be able to break the seal. Although this method is extremely risky, after all, we demons are still more afraid of the power of lightning. However, in order to obtain freedom as soon as possible, I can only take the risk and give it a try." Yun Shujio looked around and then said in puzzlement, "Senior, are you joking? Where is the seal here? Besides, I see that your magical power is boundless and doesn't look like you are being imprisoned. Please don't lie to me." The old man smiled with some self-satisfaction. "This little bit of mana is nothing. It's not even 1% of what I was at my peak. As for the seal, didn't you notice that there's a blue sky full of stars but no sun and moon?" Yun Shujio nodded. "Yes, why is there no sun and moon?" The old man waved his hand, and a streak of black gas went straight to the top of the cave. On the left side of the top of the cave, a red sun slowly appeared, and on the right side, a crescent moon appeared. Just as Yun Shujio was surprised, the red sun and the crescent moon actually started to rotate. In the end, they actually turned into 2 yin-yang fish, and finally formed a Taiji diagram. The Taiji diagram emitted an ancient aura. The 6 demon wolves could not help but kneel on the ground and tremble. Seeing this, Yun Shujio quickly pretended to be intimidated by the pressure and said with a trembling voice, This is a seal? It's too terrifying." The old man's eyes revealed a look of hatred. "If this thing had not been suppressing me, I would have already accomplished my great cause. It's really hateful. However, most of my magic power had been sealed. Coupled with the loss of these years, it was already less than 1% of my peak. I could only gamble." The Taiji diagram seemed to only appear when one felt the demonic chi. At this time, the cave's ceiling had already returned to its previous state. Yun Shujio stood up. "Senior, you said that this method is a bit risky. Is there no other way? I really don't want you to take the risk. If there is another way, just tell me. I will do my best." The old man nodded. "You are a good girl. I will not mistreat you in the future. Actually, it is not that there is no other way. It is just too difficult. It is several times more difficult than using these thunder spirit root cultivators and demonic beasts to set up a formation." "What way?" "If we had the ancient divine weapon, the Heaven Punisher divine axe, to destroy a few of the array holes on the cave's ceiling, then the seal would naturally be broken. Unfortunately, 10,000 years have passed. Regardless of where the Heaven Punisher divine axe is, even if it has already appeared in the world, it's impossible for someone to come and save me." The old man sighed. Chapter 5693 Demon God Contract. Yun Shujio's heart skipped a beat. No wonder she felt the ground tremble when she used the kitchen knife to cut the cave ceiling. She must have accidentally destroyed a formation core. Of course, she was not a fool. Naturally, she would not be so foolish as to say that she had the Heaven Punisher divine axe. The old man sighed. That is indeed not easy. It seems that we can only take the risk and try using the formation. However, the demon race is undying and indestructible. You do not have to worry too much. That being said, after rebirth, the cultivation will be very weak. It is better to not die as a last resort. The old man sighed. Yunchujo chatted with the old man for a while. In her heart, she calculated that this was the first time the demon race had contracted with her. How should she operate it? Previously, when she contracted Butt-Face and the others, they were the ones who took the initiative to establish the contract with her. She was passive and did not know how to operate it at all. Why not try using the ordinary demon beast method? Using the beast taming technique? Would it work? This guy thought for a moment and tried to find something to say. Senior, you must have had many subordinates before, right? Other than using your reputation to make them submit, do you have any other methods to control? The old man looked at her suspiciously. Why are you asking about this? I'm just a little curious. After all, the demon race is so powerful. How can they be willing to be controlled by others? If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Just pretend that I didn't ask. Yunchujo said somewhat embarrassedly. The old man curled his lips. This isn't a secret. For my confidants, I will establish a demon god contract with them. The demon god contract has one side as the master and the other as the servant. It's similar to how humans contract demon beasts. However, the risk of a demonic contract is greater. If the master's spiritual sense is not as strong as the servant's spiritual sense, it is very likely that the master and servant of the demonic contract will be switched. Yunchujo showed a hesitant look at first, then knelt on the ground with a determined look. Senior, this junior is willing to establish a demonic contract with you. Only then can you completely trust me and treat me as your confidant. You will not abandon me in the future. The old man frowned. There's no need for that. As long as you work hard for me, I will naturally trust you. Yunchuji's eyes immediately reddened. You lied to me. When you regain your freedom, there will definitely be many people who will seek refuge with you. I am also such a trash. When that time comes, how will you still remember me? So you should establish a dem. You can't be afraid that my spiritual sense is stronger than yours, so you don't dare to establish a demonic god contract with me, right? Yunchuji's face immediately paled when she said this. Senior, I was just spouting nonsense. Please don't blame me. The old man's expression was a little unsightly. After a long while, he said, all right, since you insist, I'll fulfill your wish. The old man was a little unhappy, but he could only endure it for now since there was no one available. Moreover, after establishing the demon god contract, he felt more at ease. He let Yunchujo bite the index finger of his right hand. Then, he formed a seal with both hands and a drop of black liquid floated out from his forehead. The liquid wrapped around the blood that was squeezed out from Yunchuji's index finger and floated into the air. The old man kept waving his hands and an obscure spell leaked out from his mouth. The black liquid and the red blood bead finally blended together and then split into two, hiding between Yunchuji's and the old man's brows. Chapter 5694, Do you eat wolf meat? Just as the liquid merged into the old man's and Yunchuji's brows, Yunchujo noticed that the liquid had turned into several streaks of black chi that lingered in her sea of consciousness. In addition, she noticed that her spiritual sense seemed to have invaded the old man's spiritual sense, but it was very weak. This was probably the difference between a master and a servant. If she wanted to switch between master and servant, she needed to suppress the black chi in her sea of consciousness. At the same time, she also needed to strengthen her control over the old man's spiritual sense. However, she could not act rashly for the time being. This old thing's cultivation was much higher than hers. Moreover, this was his territory, so she had to take things slowly. When the old man saw that the contract was successful, his attitude towards Yunchujo became better. After all, once the demonic god contract was established, he did not need to worry about the little girl in front of him having any other intentions, because a single thought from him could make her suffer so much that she wished she could live or even die. As for the possibility that the demon god contract might have a master-servant swap, it was not within the old man's considerations. Yunchujia's face revealed an extremely happy expression. "Senior, I will definitely do my best to serve you in the future. I wonder if you can get used to the food of our human race? Why don't I kill a demon wolf and roast it for you, the 6 demon wolves? Doesn't your conscience hurt when you say that?" The old man was very satisfied with Yunchujia's hospitality. He smiled and said, "I don't care about the appetite. Besides, it doesn't matter if the demon race doesn't eat for a long time. I'm a little tired. Help me keep an eye on these humans and demon beasts. I'll take a short break." "Senior, don't worry. Not even an ant can escape, let alone these cultivators and demon beasts," Yunchujo said confidently. The old man nodded in satisfaction. His whole body turned into a cloud of black mist and disappeared into the ceiling of the cave. Afraid that the old man was observing her in the dark, Heishinjo pretended to be on high alert. She looked around as carefully as she could. However, a dim light flashed in her lowered eyes, and she established a connection. Witntne dumb cuties mtne spiritual beast pauknagam. As soon as she established a connection, Hun Dun said in a muffled voice, "You were fooled by Butt-Face. It is impossible for a human to contract a demon. He is just talking nonsense." Butt-Face quibbled, "Just because others can't do it, doesn't mean that the little fairy can't do it. Others can't contract with you, so why are you obediently here now?" Hun Dun was infuriated by Butt-Face. "I just haven't grown any hair. Otherwise, I will kill you, you son of a bitch." "Alright, stop arguing. Let me ask you, do you know about the demon god contract?" "I have established a demon god contract with that old thing now. How can I quickly swap master and servant?" Yunchujo asked. Hun Dun was stunned at first, then he roared, "Are you a pig? You actually established a demon god contract with him? Swap master and servant? What a fantasy. If I knew you were so stupid, I wouldn't have established a contract with you in the first place." Yunchujo frowned. That Sha Mo said that as long as the servant's spiritual sense is strong enough, he can swap master and servant. My spiritual sense is definitely stronger than his. Why can't I swap master and servant? Hun Dun glared at Butt-Face. "Speak." Butt-Face realized that he had most likely caused trouble. He said weakly, that little fairy, since the demon god contract is called the demon god contract, it is because this kind of contract is mainly aimed at the demon race. The side that can become the master can only be the demon race, and you are a human, so, you know. Chapter 5695, Dog 2's quick thinking. Yunchujo was stunned for a moment before she gritted her teeth and said, "What you mean is that it's impossible for me to switch places. I can only be that old devil's servant, right?" Dog 2 shrunk its neck. "Little fairy, you are too reckless. I said that you can contract him, but I didn't say that you can establish a demonic god contract with him. This is not my fault." Very good, very good. Butt-Face, it seems that I have been too merciful to you. After I settle the matter in front of me, I will let you know what it means to be miserable." Yunchujo sneered. She was so regretful that her intestines were turning green. No wonder that old devil had established a demonic god contract with her so easily. It turned out that he was certain that there was no possibility of swapping master and servant. Damn Butt-Face. When the other dumb cubs heard this, they immediately began to beat up Butt-Face. It was because of his careless words that they were all implicated. He was really asking for a beating. But Face was beaten up until he cried like a ghost and howled like a wolf. In his panic, he shouted, "Wait! Wait! Little fairy, I thought of a crucial matter." Yunchujo narrowed her eyes and gestured for the other dumb cubs to let go of him. She asked, "What is it?" But Face narrowed his swollen eyes and said, "Little fairy, your parents are suspected of the demon race. You might also have the bloodline of the demon race. Moreover, you were the ghost ancestor and the demon ancestor in your previous life. You are definitely not a human. Maybe you can successfully swap master and servant. Why don't you give it a try? If you don't succeed, you can deal with me later." Yunchujia's heart skipped a beat. What Buttface said was not without reason. It was better to give it a try first. If she failed, it would not matter. That old devil was very fond of achievement and needed manpower urgently. She could fool him. "I will try to switch master and servant in a while. If there is any progress, that old devil will definitely kill me. When that time comes, it will be up to you." Buttface immediately said confidently, "Little fairy, don't worry. I, Buttface, will protect you with my life." Hun Dun angrily slapped Buttface away. "You weakling! Get out of my way. If I wait for you to save the little girl, grass will grow on her grave." Buttface fell and choked. He said angrily, "That's because I haven't recovered my strength. Otherwise, you Baldy wouldn't be a match for me." Hun Dun's biggest taboo was to be called Baldy, so he immediately wanted to fight with Buttface. Yunchujo said with a cold face, "Enough. If you want to fight, wait until I take care of the old devil. If I fail, all of you won't be able to recover. All of you, be more energetic." After saying that, Yunchujo gave another order to the 6 demon wolves and then began to sit cross-legged and meditate. The 6 demon wolves looked at each other. They were really unlucky. This female devil actually wanted to contract that old devil. Wasn't she courting death? But what could they do? They could only obey obediently. Otherwise, they would definitely die before this female devil. In Yunchujia's sea of consciousness, the Yuan Shen that was quietly meditating suddenly opened its eyes. Its sharp gaze swept across the surrounding black gas in her sea of consciousness. With a sudden wave of her hand, several purple lightning bolts shot towards the black gas. Her attack was very sudden. At this time, the old man was taking a nap. It was the time when he was most relaxed. Thus, those purple lightning bolts seemed to have struck the black gas. The black gas immediately weakened a little, but it also woke the old man up. A thunderous roar sounded in Yunchujia's spiritual sense. "Junior, what are you trying to do?" Yunchujo ignored him and continued to command the purple lightning to attack the black gas. Since the black gas could weaken, it meant that there was a possibility of it turning back to its master. She could not give up halfway. Chapter 5696 Must be an illusion. The old man's shocked and angry voice sounded again. You are actually a heavenly thunder spirit root. You are actually not a human. Tell me, who are you?" Yunchujo naturally did not pay attention to him. The purple lightning kept striking at the black fog. Suddenly, the black fog turned into black poisonous snakes, crazily biting Yunchujia's spiritual sense. "Darn girl, do you think you can swap master and servant? You're delusional. Since you're courting death, I'll grant you your wish. I'll use you to make up the numbers. 1 heavenly thunder spirit root is equivalent to hundreds of ordinary thunder spirit roots. You'll definitely be able to completely break my seal." Although the old man was furious from embarrassment, he wasn't too worried. How powerful could a little girl's spiritual sense be? He could easily destroy her spiritual sense, and then he could use the array formation to gain freedom. However, he was soon shocked to find that the purple lightning could easily damage the black poisonous snake. What shocked him even more was that hundreds of Qi Ling appeared out of nowhere and crazily pounced on the black poisonous snake. How was this possible? How could a person contract so many Qi Ling? It must be an illusion. Among those Qi Ling, there were the Qi Ling of the immortal sword, and most of them were the Qi Ling of other immortal weapons. They were almost suffocated to death. The smelly girl had deceived them from the ancient sword tomb and said that she would let them go free, but she had been locked up until now. Those immortal swords could occasionally go out for a stroll, but they were so good that they were going to be locked up for life. However, they did not dare to resist. The only thing that made them happy was that as Yunchujia's spiritual sense became stronger, their cultivation had also increased compared to before. Of course, the happiest thing was that there was someone who did not have eyes who wanted to devour Yunchujia's primordial spirit. This way, they could have a full meal, which was much better than slowly cultivating. Therefore, those black poisonous snakes were fragrant food in their eyes. At this time, the weapon spirits were going crazy with joy. Finally, someone blind came. It was really wonderful. As the black poisonous snakes gradually dissipated, Yunchujio could feel that the strand of divine sense that she had invaded into the old man's sea of consciousness became stronger. The purple divine sense turned into several small lightning bolts that surrounded the old man's sea of consciousness. Yunchujia's mind flashed, and those purple lightning bolts struck towards the old man's divine sense. The old man couldn't help but let out a miserable cry. The old man gnashed H. This lord has fallen into your trap. This lord originally wanted to keep your main body to set up the array. Since you are courting death, this lord will send you on your way. At the same time, the old man's main body also floated out from the top of the cave. After condensing into a human shape, he swung his palm towards Yunchujio, who was meditating. Seeing this, the 6 demon wolves immediately shot out a few wind blades at the old man. The old man released a few streaks of black gas, and those wind blades instantly turned into nothingness. A mere 6 demon wolves want to stop me? How naive. After the old man finished speaking, he waved his sleeve, wanting to use his murderous aura to control the 6 demon wolves. In this way, the 6 demon wolves would be like the demon beasts trapped in the cage, losing their mind and becoming stupid. Then, the old man was stunned to discover that it was actually useless. He could not help but be stunned. This did not make sense. He had deliberately placed the water droplets containing the baleful aura in the tunnel, as well as the lightning stones that were tainted with the baleful aura. Why were these demon wolves not affected? Although the old man was somewhat puzzled, he did not panic too much. Even if he did not use the baleful aura to control them, it would not be a big problem for him to kill these 6 demon wolves. As long as he killed these 6 demon wolves, he would be able to kill that darn girl who had the audacity to deceive him. Chapter 5697 The master-servant relationship was switched. 6 streams of black gas overflowed from the old man's hand and transformed into a black poisonous snake that pounced towards the 6-headed demon wolf. The 6-headed demon wolf was also going all out at this moment. It used the energy it used to shoot at Yunchujio and desperately shot out wind blades. This was because they knew that they were now on the same boat as Yunchujio. If Yunchujio did not survive, they would not survive either. The old man smiled contemptuously. He released 6 streams of black gas again and turned into a black poisonous snake that charged at the 6-headed demon wolf. One of his ears was bitten by a poisonous snake. Immediately, a murderous aura entered his body and his eyes turned red. He was stunned on the spot. Soon after, the other 5 demon wolves were also bitten by the black poisonous snake. All of them were stunned. The old man sneered. He did not kill the 6 demon wolves because he wanted to keep the 6 demon wolves in formation. Just as the old man was about to command the poisonous snake to pounce on Yunchujio, he heard a muffled voice, "You old fart. You still want to contract a little girl? You really overestimate yourself. If you contract her, won't you contract me in a different way? You're really courting death. You're forcing me to sing. I'll sing for you now." The old man turned his head and saw a monster wearing a green sweater appear out of thin air. Although the monster had 4 legs, it didn't have claws. Its 2 bell-sized eyes didn't have any eyeballs, and its ears were drooping. The old man's eyes were wide open. It looked like a bear with long fur. Yes, it had a sweater covering its body, 4 legs without claws, 2 eyes, and 2 ears. It was the ancient fierce beast, Hun-Dun, right? How did the majestic ancient vicious beast become like this? Hun-Dun did not pay attention to him. A mesmerizing song drifted out. The old man's expression turned cold. He hurriedly circulated his demonic chi to resist and commanded the black poisonous snakes to pounce on Yunchujo. At this moment, a ball of flame smashed toward the black poisonous snakes. The black poisonous snakes instantly dissipated. The old man looked at the fat black crow flapping its wings on the ground in disbelief. Nirvana fire? Ancient black phoenix? Aren't all the black phoenixes dead? You're the one who's dead. This young master is still alive and well. You old fart, you actually dared to provoke my master, you're really courting death. The old man was shocked and ecstatic. What was shocking was that an ordinary-looking little girl actually had Hun-Dun and the ancient black phoenix. He was ecstatic that the divine beast and vicious beast must have signed an equal contract with that stinky girl. After he killed that stinky girl, Hun-Dun and the ancient black phoenix would be his. The old man formed a seal with his hands and released several black poisonous snakes again. These poisonous snakes were different from the previous ones. Not only were there more of them, but they also had horns on their heads. So, to be precise, these were black poisonous snakes. Although Xiao Hanyo could spit out nirvana flames, there was a pause in between. For a moment, it could not protect Yunchujo. At this moment, several figures appeared out of thin air. The white tiger stretched out its sharp claws and pounced at one of the poisonous flood dragons. Xiao He stretched out its claws and slapped at one of the poisonous flood dragons. Xiao Mogu stretched out its mycelium and wrapped it around one of the poisonous flood dragons. The few rabbits also pounced towards one of the poisonous flood dragons. Xiao Hong the red fox did not join in the battle. It stood beside Hun-Dun and roared. Although its heavenly fox and 9 howls could not compare to the power of Hun-Dun's singing, it could still lend Hun-Dun a helping hand. When the old man saw that the poisonous flood dragons that he had released were dispersed, he could not help but take a few steps back. He could recognize the white tiger and the stone-eating rat, but what the hell were Xiao Mogu and those few strange-looking rabbits? And could it be that the crying red fox had the bloodline of the 9-tailed fox? Chapter 5698 He was the joke this, how could that stinky girl have so many spiritual pets? And they were all so extraordinary? Could it be because she had the heavenly thunder spirit root? Only then did he remember a huge question. The heavenly thunder spirit root was not tolerated by Tian Dao, but that stinky girl was still alive and kicking. Could it be that Tian Dao did not discover her existence? How was this possible? Just as the old man was feeling bewildered, a sharp pain came from his spiritual sense. It turned out that while he was fighting with these stupid cuties, there were not many black poisonous snakes left that had invaded Yunchujia's sea of consciousness. Correspondingly, the spiritual sense that Yunchujio had invaded his sea of consciousness became stronger and stronger. The purple lightning had already covered more than half of his sea of consciousness. The master-servant relationship of the demon-god contract was completely reversed. At this moment, Yunchujio, who was originally sitting cross-legged, opened her eyes. A brilliant smile appeared on her face. "Old servant, why aren't you kneeling and paying respects to your master when you see him?" Due to the intense pain in his spiritual sense, the old man's face had already twisted from the pain. He had been tricked. This stinky girl had deliberately released her spiritual pet intermittently to divert his attention. And she had taken advantage of this moment to completely reverse the demonic god contract. He could feel that the spiritual sense that had invaded the stinky girl's sea of consciousness was so weak that it almost disappeared. If not for the demonic god contract, it would have been completely devoured. And the stinky girl's spiritual sense had completely invaded his sea of consciousness. It was even more powerful than the amount that he had invaded her sea of consciousness before. The purple lightning had almost covered more than half of his sea of consciousness. The intense pain at this time was just a piece of cake. If she wanted to, his spiritual sense would be completely crippled. The old man was very unwilling. Very depressed. However, he could do nothing. One wrong move and the whole game would be lost. Seeing that the old man didn't move, Yunchujo snorted, "Old fool, didn't you hear what I said? Come over and greet master." Old fool? The old man was so angry that Yazi was about to burst. He endured the pain of his spiritual sense and gritted his teeth. A scholar can be killed but not humiliated. Sha Moi will not submit to a human like you. At most, I will be reborn. Yunchujo, what's your name? Sha Moi? Samyed? Why did you call it a dog name? The old man, although he did not know what Samyed was, he was still very. His body was covered in a layer of black fog, and he stretched out his hands and began to form seals. Hun Dun shouted from the side, "Not good, he's going to self-destruct." Yunchujo was also very frightened. This old thing's temper was too fierce. He was going to self-destruct at the slightest disagreement. What should she do? Although she could hide in the great void mystic realm, what about Sect Master Yuan and the 6 silly wolves? As for whether Deputy Director Xiaofu and the others would live or die, it was not within this fellow's considerations. They would die wherever they were willing to die. None of them were good. At this moment, Hun Dun and Xiao Hanio had already begun to attack the old man. They wanted to stop him from self-destructing, but they did not know what the black fog was. Neither the white tiger's sharp claws nor Xiao Hanio's nirvana fire could break through it. At this moment, Buttface, who was inside the spirit beast bag, roared, "Little fairy, try to put him into the spirit beast bag." Maybe this old thing is the same as Chi Ying. Chi Ying, who was curled up in the corner, glared at Buttface angrily. What a whimsical thought. It was one thing for him to be unlucky, but he still wanted to put the demon into the spirit beast bag? What a joke. Plop. A black shadow appeared in the spirit beast pouch, accompanied by an angry roar. Where is this place? How did I become like this? Chi Ying, alright, he is the joke. Chapter 56-99 Demon Nurturing Specialist Buttface looked at the black shadow and said fiercely, "Where is this?" "This is the little fairy's spirit beast pouch." "You old fart. It's because of you that I, Lord Buttface, have been beaten to such a state. Just you wait, when all my underlings are here, I'll beat you to death." Sha Mo had now turned into a ball of black mist. After hearing Buttface's words, he immediately shouted angrily, "Bullshit. You're spouting nonsense. PM a noble Sha Mo, how could I be put into a spirit beast pouch? It must be that smelly girl who used some kind of scheme to bring me to this dark place." Buttface clicked his tongue and said, "Old fool, you really are a silly demon. Just accept your fate." This was the little fairy's spirit beast pouch. Hey, that rabbit was originally a human, but now it's also obediently hiding in the spirit beast pouch. Let me tell you, our little fairy is a pervert. Things that are impossible with others are possible with her. You old fool, you even made the little fairy acknowledge you as her master before. HMPH, you'll have a good time in the future. At this moment, Hei Shinjo, who was outside, had a dumbfounded expression. She actually put Sha Mo into the spirit beast pouch. She was a professional demon slayer, wouldn't she become a demon breeder in the future? Io, did she have to be so outstanding? This guy was infatuated with himself for a while. When he remembered that he still had something important to do, he quickly put Hun Dun and the others into the spiritual beast bag. This guy looked at the people in the cage and narrowed his eyes. Although it would be glorious if she became the savior of these people, a tree in the forest would be destroyed by the wind. It was better not to take this credit. Moreover, she could not explain what had happened. Therefore, Hei Shinjo did not pay attention to the people in the cage and released the demonic beasts. These demonic beasts were now filled with a murderous aura. They were all in a daze. Even when the door was opened, none of them moved. Yunchujo put all the demonic beasts into the spiritual beast bag. As for the humans, there would naturally be reinforcements. In this way, there was no need for her to explain and no one would suspect her. After all, she was a good-for-nothing. Sigh, she was really too kind. She always did good deeds without leaving her name behind. After taking a few steps, the fellow turned back. The student from the upper house had seen her before. Leaving her alive would be a disaster. Yunchujo directly let the small flame burn the student into ashes. After destroying the corpse, she left the stone hall. On the way, this guy had even kept all the scattered lightning stones in his bag. She had even subdued Sha Mo, so she was naturally not afraid of the little murderous aura on the lightning stones. Unfortunately, when this guy reached the entrance of the death cave, he was blocked by an invisible barrier. Hei Shinjo was stunned at first, then came to a realization. Sha Mo was sealed in the death cave, so she had to remove the seal first before she could leave this place. Therefore, this fellow ran back and chopped the top of the cave into pieces. Only then did he return to the entrance of the cave. As expected, he successfully exited the death cave this time. I say, Samoya, you should thank me properly. If it weren't for me, you might not have been able to escape even if you set up a great array, Hei Shinjo said slyly with her spiritual sense. When Sha Mo saw Hun Dun and the others, he had no choice but to believe he had been put into the spirit beast pouch in a daze. At this moment, he heard Yunchuji's voice as she gnashed her teeth and said, I advise you to release me immediately so that I can let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, you will regret it sooner or later. Buttface roared, You old fool, how dare you talk nonsense? Brothers, beat him up. Chapter 5700. What a painful realization. Upon hearing this, the silly cubs immediately rushed forward and gave Sha Mo a fierce beating. Damn it, they actually thought that their master would become his servant. Then what were they? Weren't they the servant's spiritual pets? Sha Mo originally thought that his body was condensed from a baleful aura and wouldn't feel pain, but he was wrong. Sha Mo's miserable cry came from the spiritual beast bag. Qiying shrank back into the corner. These animals did not care about the severity of their attacks. It was better not to provoke them. What a painful realization. Yunchujo did not stop Buttface and the others from attacking. This old devil was asking for a beating. It would be good for him to learn his lesson. After coming out of the death cave, Yunchujo released Goei Batsao and let it scout ahead to avoid meeting the reinforcements of the Academy of 10 Directions. The next morning, Yunchujo sensed the warning of the Goei Batsao and moved to a place where the lightning-struck rocks were produced to avoid the reinforcements. After another 2 hours, Yunchujo released the demonic beasts. Fortunately, the area where the lightning-struck rocks were produced was very large. Otherwise, it would not be able to hold so many demonic beasts. This fellow wanted to subdue these demonic beasts, but she could not afford to raise them. It was already difficult for her to raise Xiao Hanyo and Xiao Mogu, so how could she have the extra power of lightning to feed them? Not to mention, there were 3 gluttons in her dantian. Yunchujo released Sha Mo and ordered him to retrieve the murderous aura from those demonic beasts. Sha Mo was very scheming. Although he had suffered a heavy blow from the poop, he had not collapsed even after being trapped for 10,000 years. Naturally, he would not give up just because of the unforeseen circumstances. As soon as he was released, he returned to his previous appearance. His eyes flickered a few times, and without any nonsense, he withdrew the devilish aura from the demonic beasts. He sneered in his heart. This stinky girl was really smart and muddle-headed. Once these demonic beasts regained their consciousness, the first thing they would do would probably be to eat her. Although they had signed a demonic god contract, as long as one of them died, the demonic god contract would be cancelled. Although he could not personally kill this stinky girl, using the demonic beasts to kill people was also a good choice. After he withdrew the murderous aura from the demonic beasts, he formed a seal with his hands and was about to self-destruct. Yun Shujo had no choice but to put him back into the spiritual beast pouch. This was exactly what he wanted to kill the demons. If he stayed outside, once the demonic beasts attacked the stinky girl would definitely let him take action. Immerse in your dreams. Very soon, the stinky girl would be eaten by the demonic beasts until there were no bones left. At that time, he would be free. At the same time, he could also subdue so many divine beasts and fierce beasts. It was simply a blessing in disguise. The murderous aura on the demonic beasts was withdrawn and they immediately regained their consciousness. The demonic beasts were momentarily stunned. They quickly reacted with one ear and ran to Yun Shuji's side. They thought to themselves, since they had already left the cave of death, did that mean that this female demon had really contracted that demon? Oh my god. What kind of pervert was this? Fortunately, they were tactful and did not go against her. Otherwise, they would not even know how they died. Yun Shujo was currently standing at the exit of the lightning strike stone producing area. She glanced at the demon beasts that were still confused about the situation before her and said with a chuckle, "You were trapped in the death cave previously. I risked my life to save you. Shouldn't you give me some lightning strike stones as a thank you gift?" Chapter 5701 Extortion. As Yun Shujo did not cut off Sha Mo's spiritual sense connection, Sha Mo could also see the situation outside. When he heard Yun Shujo say this, he sneered in his heart. This stinky girl really wanted money but not her life. She actually dared to extort these demonic beasts? She was really courting death. Those demonic beasts thought the same. The thunder beast bear closest to Yun Shujo roared and slapped the ground with its claws. Immediately, several vines formed from thunder-type spiritual power shot out from Yun Shuji's feet. They wrapped around Yun Shujo tightly. Sharp thorns grew on the vines. Almost instantly, Yun Shuji's clothes were dyed red with blood. The demonic bear let out a disdainful roar. How could such a weak chicken try to extort them? It was simply overestimating itself. They had been hiding at the side obediently with one ear. Their eyes were full of pity as they looked at the demonic bear. This idiot would soon know what it meant by regretting it back then. The spiritual power vines on Yun Shuji's body quickly dissipated. Although the demon bear was somewhat puzzled by the speed at which the spiritual power vines dissipated, it did not pay too much attention to it. It released a few more vines. It felt that it could definitely kill the little weakling in front of it this time. However, it discovered in disbelief that the speed at which the spiritual power vines disappeared this time was even faster than before. Although the little weakling was covered in blood. However, it did not show any signs of dying. Instead, it became even more energetic. The demon bear thought that it must have been hallucinating. It released its spiritual power vines again and again. Then, due to the huge loss of spiritual power, it collapsed to the ground while panting heavily. Yun Shujo walked up to it and kicked it. "Why are you pretending to be dead? Continue to release the vines." The demon bear. Yun Shujo ignored the demonic bear and looked at the rest of the demonic beasts. "To tell you the truth, I'm not afraid of your lightning attacks at all. In my eyes, you're just a group of ordinary beasts without spiritual power. If I want to kill you, it's as easy as squashing an ant. If you obediently pay me a thank you fee, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll kill you and make you into jerky." The demonic beasts were naturally not intimidated. They did not think that Yun Shujo was very powerful. It must be that idiot, the demonic bear, who had gone on a mission. Immediately, another wild lion walked in front of Yun Shujo and spat out several wind blades from its bloody mouth. Yun Shujo only avoided the vital parts and allowed the wind blades to cut her body. This fellow had a faint smile on his face, but his heart was aching. For the sake of the lightning strike stone, for the sake of turning this place into his lightning spiritual energy storage. She was going all out. The mad lion spat out a few waves of wind blades, but when it saw that Yun Chujio was still standing there with a faint smile on her face, it suddenly felt a little apprehensive. Could it be that this wretched girl was really not afraid of the lightning attack? Humph. Even if she was not afraid of the lightning attack, could she still block its sharp claws? Thinking of this, the mad lion suddenly attacked and pounced towards Yun Chujio. Its sharp claws went straight for Yun Chujia's vital points. Yun Chujia's pupils contracted. She immediately turned sideways to avoid the mad lion's attack. With a wave of her hand, several small purple needles rushed towards the mad lion. When the mad lion saw those small purple needles, although it was a little surprised that they were actually purple, it did not take these small things seriously at all. So, it was a tragedy. When the small purple needles exploded, the mad lion cried out in pain. Its golden fur also turned into charred curly fur. Yun Chujio sneered and immediately summoned 18 flying swords. The flying swords flew up and down around the mad lion. The mad lion was completely gone. Chapter 5702 Life-Saving Grace. The mad lion saw the fur all over the floor and fainted with a choking sound. It felt that there was no hope for the lion's life. It would not be able to survive in the Thunder Valley in the future. In the future, which lioness would take a fancy to it? It would be a bachelor for the rest of its life. The demonic beasts behind were also stunned by the scene in front of them. It seemed that this human brat was really not afraid of lightning-type attacks, and she was too despicable. Killing beasts was just a nod of the head. Was there a need to be so ruthless? When the demonic beasts thought of the beautiful scene of themselves being stripped of their fruits, they subconsciously took a few steps back. The Sha-Mo in Yun Chujia's spiritual beast bag was shocked and angry. It was naturally shocked that Yun Chujio was really not afraid of lightning-type attacks. It was angry that these demonic beasts were all stupid. Why did they all attack at the same time? Why did they attack one by one? Were they stupid? This was the part where Yun Chujio was smarter than him. Yun Chujio knew demonic beasts too well. Demonic beasts were all very cunning. If they all charged forward at the same time, who would be the spoils of war? Moreover, they all had the instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. Before confirming the level of the risk, they would not act rashly. Yun Chujio glanced at the mad lion that had fainted. She withdrew her 18 flying swords and looked at the rest of the demonic beasts. Did you see that? If you go against me, you will end up like this. This is just a piece of cake. I still have many trump cards that I have yet to use. If you don't believe me, take a look at who he is. As Yun Chujio spoke, she released Sha-Mo before Sha-Mo could say anything. She put him back into her spirit beast pouch. Some of the demonic beasts had seen Sha-Mo before. When they saw this scene, they were all dumbfounded. This little human girl actually subdued that demon? How was this possible? How could the demon race be put into the spirit beast pouch? He wasn't a demonic beast. See? It was him who trapped you in the cave of death back then and prepared to use your spirit roots to set up an evil formation. If it wasn't for me, you would have already died. You should give yourself to me for saving your lives. I will give you two choices. One is to become my spiritual pet and work for me in the future, and the other is to give me the lightning strike stone as a thank you gift. Which one do you choose? The demon beasts that had been resisting earlier had been thrown into the clouds after seeing Sha-Mo. What a joke. The old demon had been taken care of by the Sti. Therefore, Hei Shinjo began to collect the lightning strike stones delightedly. These demonic beasts all had their own storage space. What was picked up by Director Xiaofu and the others was only a handful. Most of them were in their storage space. Moreover, in order to attract these demonic beasts, Sha-Mo had placed quite a number of lightning strike stones in the death cave. Therefore, these demonic beasts were quite wealthy. Sha Mo's lightning strike stones had been painstakingly collected over the past 10,000 years. In the end, all of them had been used as a wedding dress for He Xinjiu. Sha Mo was about to go crazy from anger. Idiots. A bunch of idiots. They had been frightened just like that. However, no matter how angry he was, it was useless. He couldn't even protect himself now, let alone stop those demonic beasts. But Faye said leisurely, "Old fool, did you see that? The little fairy is so smart and so cunning. I advise you to repent sincerely or you will suffer." Sha Mo was so angry that he twitched and shouted coldly, "Cheong Chi, you are a fierce beast, but now you have become her dog. You are really willing to degenerate." Only then did she swagger out of the thunderstone producing area and turned around to run toward the Cave of Death. In the evening, Yun Shujiu met Sect Master Yuan and the others who had been rescued. Yun Shujiu immediately revealed an ecstatic expression. She wiped her tears and said, "Sect Master, it's great that you're all right. I originally wanted to come over and help you, but I met a demonic wolf on the way. It wasn't easy for me to save my life." Yun Shujiu's clothes were covered in blood, and no one doubted her at all. Sect Master Yuan was touched and nodded. "It's good that you have such intentions. We're all fine." Yun Shujiu nodded vigorously and asked curiously, "Sect Master, were you the one who saved Vice Director Xiaofu and the others?" Sect Master Yuan shook his head with a bitter smile. "I was also trapped in the death cave after I entered. It was Sect Master Hu from the upper house's spiritual power branch who brought people to save us." Yun Shujiu immediately looked at the Sect Master Hu that Sect Master Yuan had mentioned. She eagerly approached him and said, "Sect Master Hu, it's a good thing that you brought people here in time. Otherwise, Sect Master Yuan and the others wouldn't have been able to survive. If I were to look for him, I definitely wouldn't have been able to survive. You are my savior. Please accept my bow." Chapter 5704 Chancellor Hu was stunned by He Xinjiu. He came back to his senses and said with a smile, "Get up. It's rare for you to have the heart to save someone. But don't be so reckless next time." Yun Shujiu nodded obediently. "You're right. I was also worried about the safety of the department head, so I acted rashly. Speaking of which, everyone is fine this time. We should also thank Vice Director Xiaofu. If it weren't for him insisting that we go to the branch road to pick up the thunderstones, we might not even have sent a message. The consequences are simply unimaginable. That's why you should praise Director Xiaofu properly. He really has foresight." Director Xiophus' nose almost went crooked from anger. Was this a praise for him? This was an accusation. This damned brat. That Xiao Lianping was also a good-for-nothing. Why didn't he kill her and let her run around here? He Xinjiu was secretly pleased when she saw Director Xiophus' twisted face. She was in the death cave and wanted to kill him along the way. However, she thought that Director Xiophus' status was not ordinary. If there was a spiritual weapon on him that could transmit the scene before his death, it would not be good. Moreover, it might not be a big deal if a student died. However, if Director Xiaofu died, the 10 Directions Academy might send people to investigate thoroughly. It would be bad if they found some clues. After weighing the pros and cons, Director Xiaofu had to give up the idea of killing Director Xiaofu. Director Hu saw that Director Xiophus' face had turned into the color of a pig's liver and immediately understood. He said lightly, "When we go back, the Academy will summarize this trial. There will be a conclusion after merits and demerits." He Xinjiu stopped when she saw the situation. She did not say anything more and retreated to the side of Sect Master Yuan. The guy was quiet for a while and then asked curiously, "Sect Master, what's so scary in the death cave? Has Sect Master Hu killed that thing?" Sect Master Yuan did not hide it. He said with a puzzled face, "Before I was trapped, I had a short period of lucidity. There should be a demon sealed in the cave. The seal on the cave top has been destroyed. The demon must have escaped from the Thunder Valley. However, I don't know why he didn't kill us. The demonic beasts that were trapped also disappeared. Perhaps something happened and there wasn't enough time, so the demon left in a hurry. As for the demonic beasts, they might have died. Yunchuji's eyes widened. Ah! There's actually a demon trapped inside? Oh my god. It's too scary. The devilish chi inside the spirit beast pouch was gnashing its teeth. Scary? Fuck, if you're really afraid and have the ability, don't put me into the spirit beast pouch. Sect Master. Originally, these secret realms that seal the demon race should be underground, but now that they've suddenly appeared, I'm afraid a storm is coming. And that demon that escaped will definitely stir up trouble. The Divine Enlightenment continent will not be peaceful anymore. Yunchujo echoed a few words and secretly laughed in her heart. Stir up trouble? Hee hee. After the crowd met up with the students of the lower house, they returned to the 10 Directions Academy. This matter had stirred up a storm in the 10 Directions Academy and even the Divine Enlightenment continent. However, this had nothing to do with Hei Shinjo. After all, she was only a listening student of the lower house. Shirchong had absorbed a lot of the power of thunder and lightning underground in the Thunder Valley, and the power of thunder and lightning in his body had accumulated to the point of a breakthrough. He only needed to use a few more thunder stones to break through. However, Shirchong was stingy. He felt that thunder stones were hard to come by, and it hurt him to use them just like that. Therefore, he decided to wait a little longer. If he couldn't wait for the heavenly thunder, he would use the thunder stones to break through. Chapter 5705, Release Your Claws. Hei Shinjo had temporarily settled the matter of her cultivation. She was filled with warmth and was thinking about that. This fellow was beginning to miss her pretty boy. Unfortunately, she could not leave the lower house's waterside pavilion as she wished. Di Baiming could not leave the upper house's waterside pavilion as he wished. It was even more difficult to meet him. She could not always use the excuse of lecturing. Moreover, President he could not lie for her anymore. The guy was in a state of sadness. He could only send a few voice transmission notes to tease a certain honored guest for fun. Big Brother Bayu, I came back from the Valley of Thunder with a slim chance of survival. Did you miss me? Big Brother Bayu, during the time that I was away, did any coquettish bitches provoke you? Big Brother Bayu, the days when I was separated from you were so hard that I almost forgot how you looked when I thought about you. Every reply from a certain someone was very simple. It was nothing more than, yes, got it, is that so? And so on. Hei Shinjo was not angered to death. Although she was afraid of being monitored, couldn't she say something nice? What a coquettish person. Yunchujo cupped her chin and pondered. It would be great if she could enter the upper house directly during the year-end assessment. That way, she could be intimate with the gigolo. Thinking of this fellow asked Ding Wenru, what are the conditions for entering the upper house directly during the year-end assessment? Ding Wenru looked at her as if she was looking at a lunatic. As far as I know, this is impossible. Only after entering the middle house and obtaining a certain rank in the middle house's year-end assessment can one enter the upper house. Yunchujo said indifferently, there's nothing impossible. My brother Bayu even entered the upper house directly when he entered the school. Why can't I enter the upper house during the year-end assessment? Ding Wenru said speechlessly, Qingcheng, I think that instead of thinking about this problem, why don't you think about how to deal with Lecturer Ouyang's inspection tomorrow? Yunchujo immediately sighed. She found many excuses to explain about the red claws. It seemed that Lecturer Ouyang's patience had run out. The last class gave her a final deadline. If she couldn't release the entire spirit energy beast during tomorrow's spirit energy class, she would be disqualified from the year-end assessment. She could ask Sect Master Zhen for leniency, but he might take advantage of the fact that she had extorted 2 jade talisman seals from him. He really couldn't bear to do so. She didn't know what was wrong with those damn claws. Even if she couldn't reveal her true form, she could at least move a little. It was as if she was dead every time. No wonder Lecturer Ouyang was angry. At this moment, this fellow missed De Hua very much. Although De Hua was a pig, he was still an entire spirit beast. No matter what, it was still better than a dead claw. This fellow tried to release the red claw again, but there was still no progress. This fellow simply gave up. It seemed that he would have to return the warm jade talisman to Sect Master Zhen before he could even hold it. What a tragedy. The next day, in the spirit energy class. Yan Qingcheng, come to the front and release your spirit energy beast, Lecturer Ouyang said with a solemn expression. Previously, this Yan Qingcheng had used the excuse of being frightened as an excuse to delay. Now that so much time had passed, she could only release one claw. And it was the kind of dead claw that didn't move at all. This was really outrageous. He Xinjiu took small steps and slowly moved towards the podium. This fellow was eager to strike the lecture hall with heavenly lightning, so that she did not have to release her claw. However, this fellow repeated it in his heart 100 times, but he did not receive a single heavenly lightning, so he could only brace himself and release his claw. Chapter 5706 A claw that could conquer the world. The familiar red claw appeared in front of everyone once again. The reason why everyone was familiar with it was because recently, Lecturer Ouyang had called Yunchujiu to the podium from time to time to release the spirit beast. Looking at the motionless dead claw, He Xinjiu said embarrassedly, Lecturer Ouyang, I may have been frightened again in the Thunder Valley, so. Enough. Yan Qingcheng, I have given you too many chances, and I don't want to listen to you talk about this anymore. The other students were all trying their best to materialize the spiritual beast, but you couldn't even release a complete spiritual beast. Don't you feel ashamed? Lecturer Ouyang said sternly. Hearing Lecturer Ouyang's words, He Xinjiu's heart moved. This guy pursed his lips, Lecturer Ouyang, I am so ashamed that I wish I could find a hole to crawl into. But, I have really done my best. I don't know where the problem is, why can I only release a dead claw? But, I have also improved. In the beginning, this claw only had one toe showing signs of materializing. Look, now there are already 2 toes materializing. Looking at it this way, I am still stronger than the others. Lecturer Ouyang choked at first and then slammed the table. You're still trying to argue with me? Even if this claw has materialized, how can one of your claws compare to a complete spiritual beast in a duel? Besides, your claw is still dead. He Xinjiu blinked her eyes. Maybe if I materialize the whole claw, it will be able to move. Moreover, it has an advantage. Other people's spiritual beasts can only attack with their claws and bite, which will waste a lot of spiritual energy. However, my precious claws don't waste any spiritual energy. Moreover, when it attacks, no one can predict how it will attack or which part of its body it will attack. It will definitely be able to win by surprise. All in all, this claw is a good claw. In the future, I will rely on one claw to conquer the world. My reputation will spread everywhere. Lecturer Ouyang was so angry that he was about to puke. This Yan Qingcheng was really sharp-tongued. Even a dead person could be talked alive by her. It was clearly a useless dead claw, but in her mouth, it had become invincible. Lecturer Ouyang slammed the table again. Shut up. Alright, since you have said so much, I will give you a chance. If you can make this claw move now, I will give you another month's time. If you can't, you don't have to participate in the year-end exam. When the time comes, you can just drop out of school. He Xinjiu complained in her heart. This dead claw didn't listen to her at all. This chance was no different from not giving it to her. However, this fellow also knew that this was the greatest preferential treatment given to her by the obstinate lecturer Ouyang. This fellow could only nod and say, alright, I'll move it now. Actually, it's not dead. It's just a little lazy. Everyone, Please start your performance. Hei Shinjo shouted at the red claw, move. Move. There was no response. Hei Shinjo gritted her teeth and put her palms together, bowing to the red claw. Please, can you move a little? I'm begging you. There was no response. Everyone booed. It was just a dead claw. Hei Shinjo was furious. Who did she offend to summon such a thing? This guy was furious. He pointed at the red claw and cursed, "You idiot. Did I give you some face? If you play dead, I'll never let you out again." The red claw still did not move. Chapter 5707 had been hit by a claw. You still dare to show your face? Do you think I can't cure one of your claws? If you don't move a bit today, Hei Shinjo, for a long time because she found that she had no way to deal with the red claw. This thing was a spiritual beast. It didn't matter even if it dissipated. Humph. Even if I can't do anything to you, I'll scold you 8 times a day. You idiot. You trash. You dead claw. Lecturer Ouyang couldn't take it anymore. Enough. You, Hei Shinjo glared at Lecturer Ouyang and roared, "Shut up. Let me finish scolding you." Lecturer Ouyang was dumbfounded by the roar. He didn't react for a moment and stood rooted to the ground. Hei Shinjo had also finished shouting at Lecturer Ouyang. She finally realized what stupid thing she had done. But since she had already shouted, she could only brace herself and continue to curse the red claw. You damned claw. You can't even move. What use do I have for you? You're not even as good as a pig's trotter. At least you can let me take a few bites. You damned claw, you shameless one is red, if you have the ability to turn into all colors. What's the point of having a dead claw like you? Just disperse yourself. You don't want to taint other people's eyes. You damned claw, you deserve to be a single claw. Hei Shinjo was cursing until she was foaming at the mouth. The red claw was still perfectly fine, floating there without the slightest change, let alone moving. Hei Shinjo wanted to cry, but she had no tears. This fellow said to Lecturer Ouyang in a tearful voice, "Lecturer Ouyang, you are right. This broken claw is useless. I am a waste." Sob, sob. Lecturer Ouyang's face was livid. Since your claw did not move, your year-end assessment qualification was. Lecturer Ouyang's words stopped abruptly because the red claw floated in front of the crying Hei Shinjo and crashed into her. Hei Shinjo was crying vigorously, but she didn't expect the red claw to suddenly crash into her, causing her to be hit in the butt. While she was still in a daze, the red claw began to tremble, and one of its solid toes even provocatively hooked towards Yunchujo. Hei Shinjo. Everyone. Hei Shinjo was shocked and furious. This damn claw actually dared to hit her. How dare it provoke her? Did it want to die? Hei Shinjo jumped up and slapped the red claw. Unexpectedly, the red claw changed its usual silly look and nimbly dodged Yunchuji's attack before flying out of the hall. Hei Shinjo gnashed her teeth in anger and chased after it. You damn claw. Stop right there. Lecturer Ouyang. Everyone. Besides, wasn't that red claw a dead one? How could it be alive? And it even dared to beat up its master, and even provoked him? This was simply a legend in the... Lecturer Ouyang was both angry and shocked. He immediately took a step forward and chased after them. When the students saw that the lecturer had chased after them, they were naturally happy to watch the show. They quickly left the Hall of Teachings. At this moment, Yunchujo had already chased after the red claw for a long distance. Every time Yunchujo was about to catch up, the red claw would suddenly increase its speed. Hei Shinjo was so angry that she cursed, "Damn claw. Stop right there. Do you want to die?" Thus, the people of the lower house saw this strange scene. A little girl was chasing after a red claw and running around the lower house. Behind her was lecturer Ouyang and a group of fire element students. Chapter 5708, You are Dehua. The chase ended with the exhaustion of the Red Claw's spiritual energy. He Xinjiu was so tired that she was gasping for breath. Of course, she was more angry. Was there anyone in this world who had a harder life than her? Goei Batsao would occupy the magpie's nest from time to time, and Dehua would mysteriously disappear. Now that a Red Claw was released, it actually dared to play with her. It was really infuriating. This fellow turned his head and saw lecturer Ouyang following closely behind. His heart moved. Although it was very infuriating that the Red Claw had caused such a scene, but it had moved. Hence, this fellow laughed dryly. Lecturer Ouyang, look at the Red Claw that I released. It's alive and very lively. Lecturer Ouyang. Yes, it was lively. To go against his master, it was too lively. Lecturer Ouyang, you said that you would give me another month as long as the claws moved. Now that the claws are so lively, do you want to give me more time? I don't need too much time. What do you think about 3 years? How about 2 years? 1 month. If you still can't release the complete spiritual beast, humph. Lecturer Ouyang flicked his sleeves and left. Although He Xinjiu was a little disappointed, she still managed to buy another month's time. This guy ignored the other people's gazes and hurried back to his own courtyard. After this guy returned to his courtyard, he once again released his red claws. However, this time, the red claws returned to their previous dead appearance and did not move at all. He Xinjiu rubbed her chin and pondered. Could it be that this thing deserved to be scolded? However, she had scolded it many times before and did not see any reaction from it. Why did it have a reaction today? This guy recalled the words that he had scolded the red claw, and his eyes suddenly widened. He pointed at the red claw and cursed, "You are a 10,000-year-old single claw." The red claw trembled and crashed towards He Xinjiu. This time, He Xinjiu did not let it succeed. She used her spiritual energy barrier to protect herself and said excitedly, "You are Dehua? You are Dehua, that 10,000-year-old single pig?" Hearing that, the red claws hit Yunchujia's spiritual energy shield even more fiercely, looking exasperated. He Xinjiu was stunned at first, then she burst into laughter. "So it's really you, Dehua. TSK, I say, Dehua, at least you had a pig body before, why are you only left with one claw now? You're really getting worse and worse. TSK, you even changed the color. Could it be that you want to use red to rush your joy and prepare to break the curse of your 10,000-year-old singleness?" The red claw was obviously very angry, shaking like a fallen leaf in the wind. It hit Yunchujia's spiritual energy shield with even more force, but it was unable to break through Yunchujia's spiritual energy shield, so it simply stopped moving, as if it was all an illusion of Yunchujiu. Yunchujiu curled her lips. "You want to take Xiao away from me? No matter if you're a 10,000-year-old single pig or a 10,000-year-old single claw, you can't escape from my grasp. If you want to cultivate into a physical body as soon as possible, you'd better be sensible. If I tell you to go east, you'll go east. If I tell you to go west, you'll go west. Otherwise, you'll be a claw for the rest of your life." It was unknown whether the red claw was stimulated by He Xinjiu or not, but it directly crashed into a big rock in the yard. Boom! The big rock instantly turned into powder, and the red claw also dissipated. Yunchujiu snorted coldly. She had quite a temper. There was still time in the future, there were plenty of opportunities to deal with it. However, how did Dehua turn into a claw? Chapter 5709, Sha Mo's mission. While He Xinjiu was pondering, Ding Wenru and the other two hurried back. They had come back a long time ago, but today it was their turn to clean up the Hall of Magic. After cleaning up, they hurried back. As soon as the three entered the courtyard, they saw the ground full of dust. Then, they saw that the big rock in the corner of the courtyard was no longer there. They could not help but look dumbfounded. Qin Linglong looked at He Xingjiu speechlessly. Qingcheng, your anger is a little too much. Why did you smash that rock so easily? I didn't do it. It was the damn claw that did it, Yun Shujiu said innocently. Qin Linglong and the other two were speechless. Pervert was indeed a pervert. Even her spiritual beast was a weirdo. It used to be as if it was dead without moving. Now, not only did it bump into its owner, but it also destroyed public property. Ding Wenru shivered. Qingcheng, what's with that claw of yours? It won't kill its master in the future, right? I think you'd better not release it in the future. Otherwise, if it dares to bump into you today, it might kill you one day. Yun Shujiu. Yun Shujiu originally wanted to use her claws to ask about Dehua. Now that Ding Wenru and the other two had returned, she couldn't ask anymore. However, this fellow couldn't stay idle. Thinking of the Sha Mo in her spirit beast pouch, she used her spiritual sense to ask, "Hey, are you used to living in the spirit beast pouch? Look at how kind I am. I'm afraid that you'll be lonely and cold, so I'll let my silly cuties accompany you." Sha Mo, who was beaten up 8 times a day. Stinky girl. A gentleman can be killed but not humiliated. If you have the ability, kill me. Sha Mo cursed through gritted teeth. He wanted to self-detonate, but inside the spirit beast pouch, he had turned into his current ghastly appearance. He simply did not have the ability to self-detonate. Moreover, he had to be beaten up by those beasts every day. It was simply a life worse than death. If he could turn back time, he would have strangled this wretched girl to death at that time. He, Sha Mo Yi, was also an overlord of a region, but now he had fallen to such a state. It was simply a life worse than death. Yun Shujiu laughed lightly. You want to die? That's not difficult. You answer a few questions for me. If your attitude is correct, I will let you out and give you the freedom to die. How about it? Is what you said true? Sha Mo asked with doubt. Of course it's true. You're a demon. Even if I put you in a spirit beast pouch, it's still a hidden danger. If someone finds out, I won't have a way to live. So, after thinking about it, I think it's better to kill you. Yun Shujiu said somewhat helplessly. Sha Mo felt that what Yun Shujiu said made sense. Moreover, he really couldn't stand this inhuman torture anymore. He immediately said, "Okay, you ask. You said that you would return to the demon continent after completing the mission. What mission do you want to complete?" Yun Shujiu asked. Sha Mo hesitated for a moment and said, "It's nothing. I just want to gather the people who were reborn or survived and return to the demon continent together." Yun Shujiu snorted coldly, "Old fool, do you think I'm as stupid as you? If you don't tell the truth, I can only let Buttface and the others wake you up." Buttface immediately said eagerly, "That's right. As long as the little fairy gives the order, it'll let you know what it means to be possessed." Sha Mo was so angry that he gritted his teeth, but he was helpless. Finally, he squeezed out a sentence from between his teeth. "I want to find someone." Yun Shujiu immediately became spirited. "Who is it?" Chapter 57:10. You are a man of your word anyway, PM looking for someone. As for who it is, it has nothing to do with you. I won't tell you. No matter how much you threaten me, I won't tell you. Sha Mo snorted coldly. Buttface immediately said, "You old fool, are you itching for a beating again? Are you looking for a beating?" Yun Shujiu stopped Buttface. If she pushed him too hard, it might backfire. "Alright, since you insist on not saying it, I won't continue asking this question. You said that you would return to the demon race continent after completing the mission. Could it be that the God Enlightenment continent is connected to the demon race continent through a tunnel?" Sha Mo didn't have any objection to this question. Although the tunnels between the human race continent and the demon race continent were completely destroyed, some of them weren't completely destroyed. As long as they were slightly repaired, they could be used. Little girl, since you can swap with my master and servant, it means that you are not a human. If that's the case, why do you have to make things difficult? I'll tell you the truth. Since the god race has been destroyed, the demon race has become the most noble race in the world. Sooner or later, the demon race will unify all the continents. If you let me go now and break the contract with my demon god, I will let bygones be bygones for everything you have done. After all, you have also saved me. What do you think? Yunchujo did not say a word. After a while, she said, "What you said makes sense. But I cannot save you for nothing, right? But you are now a poor man. You have nothing good to thank me with, so it's better to forget about it." Hearing that, Sha Mo immediately said, "Although they took all my things when they imprisoned me, I have collected a lot of lightning strike stones over the years. Even though I used a lot of them to abduct demon beasts, I still have some. I'll give you these lightning strike stones. Can you let me go?" Lightning strike stones? I'm not particularly interested in them, but I don't think you have any other good things. How many do you have? Yunchujo said disinterestedly. I have about 40,000 to 50,000. Don't worry. As long as you let me go, I'll find other treasures to repay you. Sha Mo sneered in his heart. No matter what, he had to obtain freedom first before he could kill this little girl. 40,000 to 50,000? That's indeed not much. Forget it. I'll treat it as a good relationship. If your demon race conquers the divine enlightenment continent, I can still survive. Yunchujo sighed. Sha Mo was overjoyed. If that's the case, let me go and break the demon god's contract with me. Okay. Tell me the method to break the demon god's contract first. I'll think of a. Sha Mo did not suspect him and immediately told Yunchujo the method to break the demon god's contract. Yunchujo really found an excuse to send Ding Wenru and the other two out of the dormitory. Yunchujo then let Sha Mo out and said, "Money in one hand and goods in the other. Give me the lightning strike stone, and PLL break the demon god's contract immediately." Sha Mo thought that he would be free soon, so he did not care much and immediately gave Yunchujo a pile of lightning strike stones. After that, there was no after. Sha Mo, who had been put back into his spiritual beast pouch, said anxiously, "Hey, why did you take me back? You haven't broken the demonic god's contract." Yunchujo said with a smile, "Old fool, why don't you learn your lesson? Break the demonic god's contract? Do you want to kill me after breaking it? You idiot." Sha Mo was so angry that he almost died. "Stupid girl. You broke your promise. You're shameless. You're heartless. You're courting death." Sha Mo was so angry that he couldn't even speak properly. The person chapter 5711 was looking for was Yu Yunchujia's smile became even brighter. "Old fool, this is not my fault. It's your fault for not telling me who the person you are looking for is. How about this, you tell me who the person you are looking for is, and I will break the demonic god's contract with you." If Sha Mo believed her, then it would be a ghost. Sha Mo said exasperatedly, "Damned girl, good, very good. This is the first time that I, Sha Mo Yi, have been bullied to this extent. Don't fall into my hands, or I will make you wish you were dead." As soon as he said that, he felt a sharp pain in his spiritual sense, which made him writhe in pain. "Old fool, don't forget that you are my servant now. If you make me unhappy again, I will make you a real fool." Sha Mo was full of hatred and regret, but he could do nothing about it. He felt even more hopeless than when he was trapped in the universe arcane realm. "Old fool, why don't you tell me who you're looking for and PLL help you look for him?" Hei Shinjo said with a smile, like a wolf with a big tail. Sha Mo gnashed his teeth and said, the person PM looking for is you. I'll skin you and shave your bones. You bunch of animals. I won't forgive you. Yun Shujio looked at Sha Mo, who had been beaten up by Buttface and the others. She pursed her lips and cut off the connection with Sha Mo's spiritual sense. She happily counted the lightning strike stones that had just entered her account. TSK, she was rich. During the previous experiential learning, everyone had only found more than 30,000 lightning strike stones. She did not expect to get so many lightning strike stones from Sha Mo all of a sudden. However, when this fellow thought about the 3 foodies in his dantian and the fact that he still had to raise Xiao Hanyo and Xiao Mogu, he suddenly felt that these lightning strike stones weren't enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. Sigh, it would have been fine if he had been struck by lightning. Why was Wu Yun of the Divine Enlightenment Continent so lazy? Didn't he know that she, a scourge that wasn't tolerated by the heavenly Tao, was here? Why didn't he come and strike her? Didn't he know that she had raised a demon? Why didn't he come and carry out the heavenly Tao? Just as this fellow was thinking, he felt the ground tremble. Although it wasn't too intense, he could clearly feel it. Heavens, could it be that the earth dragon had turned over? At the same time, the other 9 islands of the 10-sided waterside pavilion also felt the ground tremble. Upper House Waterside Pavilion, Back Mountain. It seems that the strange phenomenon last time has come true. Tao Tai's seal has indeed loosened. The tall old man sighed. Logically speaking, if the strange phenomenon last time came true, why did Tao Tai not have any strange movement last time? Why did it suddenly go crazy now? Could it be that it was stimulated by something? The slightly shorter old man said in puzzlement. It was sealed at the bottom of the lake, so what kind of stimulation could it have? I guess the extent of the loosening of the seal last time was relatively small, so it didn't have any reaction. Sigh, although Tao Tai is terrifying, what's even more terrifying is the disaster predicted in the prophecy. What kind of terrifying disaster could make all things in the world disappear? There are demons appearing in the Thunder Valley, and now Tao Tai is making strange movements. PM afraid the disaster is really not far away. The tall old man had a worried expression. You don't have to be so worried. Don't you have the last 4 sentences? Since Tao Tai's seal has been loosened, the last 4 sentences will come true. Someone will come out of nowhere to resolve this disaster. The short old man was obviously more optimistic. I hope so. I don't know what kind of otherworldly expert this savior is and where he is now. The tall old man sighed. Chapter 57:12. The miserable Tao Wu room in the distance, several bolts of lightning struck towards the misty lake. The 2 elders did not show any surprise. It was normal for the heavenly lightning to strike when Tao Tai was acting strangely. The heavenly lightning did not really want to strike Tao Tai. It was just a deterrent effect to prevent Tao Tai from breaking the seal and coming out. At the same time, Hei Shinjo on the other side was overjoyed. This fellow was originally worried about whether the earth dragon would turn over, but he saw the gathering of dark clouds in the distance, as if there was going to be a heavenly lightning strike. This fellow was about to burst into laughter. My little darling, she really could not help but mutter. She had just muttered a few words, and this Wu Yun came to strike her. It was really just in time. This fellow stretched her neck and waited happily for the lightning to strike her. The heavenly lightning came, but it struck in the direction of the misty lake instead of striking her. This fellow was instantly dumbfounded. It didn't make sense. Was this Wu Yun blind? She was a living person here, why did she go to the misty lake to be struck? She wanted to run to the misty lake to be struck, but by the time she ran over, the daylily was already cold. Moreover, she could not enter or leave the lower house as she pleased, and she could not leave either. What should she do? She could only watch helplessly as the heavenly lightning failed to strike her. This was simply too damn depressing. This fellow rolled his eyes, pointed at the sky, and cursed, God damn it. You turtle bastard. If you have the ability, come and strike me. Tian Dao, didn't you want to kill me? Come on. PM right here, come and strike me. What? Are you afraid of me? Did you accept your fate because you found out that you can't kill me? This guy cursed for a long time, but he still couldn't summon Wu Yun over. He was anxious. At this moment, Buttface said from the spirit beast bag, "Little fairy, try releasing Tao Wu. It will definitely be struck by lightning once it appears." Yun Shuzhou thought that this was a solution. Although releasing Tao Wu might consume some of its soul power, she had raised it for so long, so it wouldn't be too much to let it contribute to her. Moreover, it had been a long time since she released Tao Wu, so she did not know how its cultivation was going. Yun Shuzhou immediately ran into the house and took out the ancient jade bottle containing the remnant soul of Tao Wu. She opened the cork and released Tao Wu. Tao Wu said in a muffled voice, "I have not cultivated to a physical body yet, why did you let me out? If it was not in a special environment, I would have consumed a lot of soul power once I came out." Yun Shuzhou giggled. Lightning strike. Tao, doesn't your conscience hurt when you do this? Hei Xinjiu did not pay attention to Tao Wu, who looked miserable. This guy jumped into the yard and stretched his neck to look at the sky. Seeing that Wu Yun was really floating over, this guy laughed so hard that he could not close his mouth. Today was really a good day. As for how to deal with the aftermath of being struck by lightning, he had already put it to the back of his mind. Nothing was more important than being struck by lightning. Wu Yun, who was flying towards him, was actually a little conflicted. He originally wanted to suppress Tao Tai, but he actually discovered the remnant soul aura of an ancient fierce beast here. Since he had discovered it, he naturally could not sit idly by. He was a good and conscientious Wu Yun. Wu Yun soon floated above Yun Shujia's courtyard. Of course, its area was very big, so it couldn't only cover Yun Shujia's courtyard. The nearby courtyards were all covered by it. It was daytime now, so many people were not in the dormitory. Even if there were a few people, they were scared and ran out of the courtyard when they saw the dark clouds. Chapter 57:13 was too scary. Hei Xinjiu had already put Tao Wu back into the ancient jade bottle. He looked at Wu Yun in the sky with a smile and hooked his little finger. "Little fool, come and strike me." Where was Tao Wu? Why was there such a stupid girl who did not know the immensity of heaven and earth? Heavenly thunder spiritual root? Humph, she was really courting death. Initially, she didn't realize that there was another heavenly lightning spirit root here. Pitch, since she was courting death, then let her have it. Wu Yun fiercely struck a bolt of heavenly lightning at Yun Shuzhou and sneered in his heart. This bolt of heavenly lightning would be able to strike this weak chick until she was half dead. Let's see how she can continue to show off. An hour later, Wu Yun flew away in exasperation. Fuck, pervert. This wretched girl was actually a pervert. No wonder Tian Dao did not send them over to strike her. This pervert could not be killed at all. Hei Xinjiu looked at Wu Yun, who was far away, and pursed her lips. This Wu Yun did not carry much lightning power. Her hair was not even burnt by the strike. What a waste. There were too many people and too many eyes. It was really not easy to strike her. Otherwise, she would just hook a cloud wing and play with it. However, the most important thing now was that she had to think of an excuse to cover up the matter in front of her. It was better not to expose her identity. A moment later, President He and the others rushed over. When they saw the large and small deep holes in the courtyard, they were all shocked. The 10 Directions Academy was rarely struck by lightning, not to mention this kind of long-term heavenly lightning. Why would the heavenly lightning strike here? At this moment, a scream came from inside the house. Help! 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 Everyone's expression changed and they rushed into the house immediately. They saw a little girl shivering in the corner, constantly shouting for help. If it wasn't Yan Qingqing, then who was it? Ding Wenru, who had squeezed in with the crowd, immediately rushed over. Qingqing, what happened to you? Are you okay? Yun Shujio opened her eyes with a face full of fear. Heavenly lightning. It's too scary. Save me. Ding Wenri's mouth twitched in her heart. Just keep pretending. However, she comforted her with her mouth. Qingqing, it's all right. The heavenly lightning has stopped. Look, President He and the department head are here. You'll be fine. Yun Shujio looked around in a daze and immediately sobbed. It's too scary. The heavenly lightning is too scary. It scared me to death. Yen Qingqing, what's going on? President He asked with a sullen face. President, didn't I chase after my spiritua? So when I returned to the dormitory, I was a little tired and fell asleep in a daze. Then, I heard a loud sound. I leaned against the crack of the door and saw that the heavenly lightning that was as thick as a bucket had struck the courtyard. Woo, it almost scared me to death. I wanted to run, but I was afraid of being accidentally injured by the heavenly lightning, so I hid in the house. I thought that it would be over after a few strikes, but who would have thought that the heavenly lightning would keep striking? It was too scary. Woo, it scared me to death. Dean, I want to change my dormitory. I don't want to live here. There must be something under the ground that can be struck by lightning. Woo, it's too scary. Hei Shinjo sobbed as she spoke while trembling. The speaker, unintentional, seemed to be interested. President He and the others immediately looked at each other. Could it be that there really was something strange under the courtyard? President He pondered for a moment. Sect Master Zhen asked the students nearby to move to other dormitories and seal this place completely. Sect Master Zhen's expression was solemn. He knew that this was an extraordinary matter, so he naturally wouldn't neglect it and immediately made arrangements. Chapter 57:14 Good Cabbages. Hei Shinjo, who had been scared quite a bit, said in a tearful voice, Sect Master, you must arrange my dormitory to be further away from here. PM already traumatized. It's too scary. No one was suspicious of her reaction. Even a student with a thunder spirit root would be frightened by such a rare long-term lightning bolt, not to mention that she only had a fire spirit root and her cultivation was still low. Soon, Sect Master Jin arranged a new dormitory for Yun Shujio and the others. Ding Wenru looked at Hei Shinjo, who was crying so hard that her face was covered in flowers. She pouted and said, all right, stop pretending. Hurry up and wash your face. Hei Shinjo pouted and said, I was really scared. It was too scary. I was scared to death. Ding Wenru and the other two twitched their lips. They would never believe you. The reason why they were sent out on purpose was probably to get struck by lightning. On the other side, under the misdirection of Hei Shinjo, President He and the others dug several feet deep into the courtyard. They also found a lecturer who was proficient in array formations to investigate. After a few days of searching, they found nothing. This matter became an unsolved case. Hei Shinjo had been in high spirits recently. Her spiritual power level had already reached the 5th level of the Divine Revelation realm. Moreover, because she had extorted a lot of lightning stones, her daily cultivation was not a problem for the time being. It was simply wonderful. Of course, in the eyes of outsiders, she was just a piece of trash at the 9th level of the Spirit Extinguisher realm. That night, Hei Shinjo flirted with a certain venerable every day. Brother Bayu, I dreamed of you yesterday. You took off your clothes to seduce me. It's really indescribable. A moment later, the voice transmission talisman trembled, and a certain venerable's cold voice came from it. It was indeed a dream. Hey Shinjo. Do you know that you will lose your baby if you talk like this? This guy shamelessly flirted with her a few more times, and a certain one occasionally replied, but it was not more than 2 words. Humph. Brother Bayu, you are too stingy with your words. I won't talk to you anymore. Hei Shinjo said angrily. Usually, a certain one would not reply to her at this time, but this time, he replied for the first time, sad face, I will go out to complete the Academy's mission the day after tomorrow. Perhaps the voice transmission talisman will be ineffective. You don't have to send me a voice transmission talisman for the time being. Yunchujio was stunned. This fellow immediately recalled the scene of Xiao Lianxiao giving Di Biming the pills. At that time, Xiao Lianxiao. He Xinjiu immediately asked sourly, going out on a mission? It can't be with that little bitch Xiao Lianxiao, right? Yes, there are others. It's not just me and her. A certain someone originally only wanted to reply with a yes, but after thinking for a while, he still explained. He Xinjia's heart became even more sour when she heard that. Although there were others, Xiao Lianxiao clearly had bad intentions towards the gigolo. What if there was a tyrant, a king, a hard, a bow, in the wilderness? Wouldn't the pretty boy, this good cabbage, be taken by a pig? This guy wanted to stop it, but since it was a mission arranged by the Academy, she couldn't stop it. This guy's good mood immediately fell to the bottom. If the pretty boy didn't change his identity, she wouldn't be worried, because the pretty boy wouldn't give those flirtatious bitches a chance. However, now that the pretty boy wanted to maintain the image of Beiyu, there were some things that couldn't be done too far. That Xiao Lianxiao would do anything, and she might let her get her way. He Xinjiu did not sleep well that night either. She felt extremely uncomfortable. The cabbages were about to be eaten by pigs, how could she still sleep? Chapter 57:15 Idea. He Xinjiu thought about it, but she found that she was powerless. If the gigolo was in the lower house, or if she was in the upper house, she could think of a way to go with him. But now, they were separated by two houses, and there was a middle house in the middle, so she couldn't interfere no matter what. Ding Wenru saw her drooping head and asked with concern, Qingsheng, what's wrong? Sigh, my cabbage is going to be eaten by a pig. I'm so worried. He Xinjiu sighed. Ding Wenru was dumbfounded. What the hell? What cabbage? What pig? Are you talking nonsense? He Xinjiu pouted and said, my brother Beiyu is going to follow that little bitch, Xiao Lianxiao, on a mission. Do you think I want worry? Ding Wenru was speechless. Isn't it normal to go out on a mission? Besides, Beiyu's estranged aura means that even if Xiao Lianxiao has evil intentions, she won't succeed. What do you have to worry about? He Xinjiu shook her head. The last time she tried to burn me to death in the underground fire cellar for brother Beiyu, it means that she has gone mad with him. Who knows, she might do something shameless. My brother Beiyu is so simple-minded, I really can't put my heart at ease. Ding Wenru curled her lips. After saying so much, she was just jealous. If Beiyu was so easily schemed against, would such a good cabbages be her turn? Of course, she did not dare to say these words out loud, so she just agreed perfunctorily. The worry on He Xinjia's face grew even more. Tell me, how can I stop? Ding Wenru replied, it would be great if they can't come out for the mission. However, we are only auditing students of the lower house, so we can't control them. Upon hearing that, He Xinjiu rolled her eyes and had an idea. The guy immediately took out a basket of spiritual fruits and stuffed it into Ding Wenru's hands with a big smile. Sister Ding, you are really my lucky star. Ding Wenru. Did she say something amazing? This little devil's face would turn from glum to elated. Could she have gone mad? The next morning, in the upper house, Xiao Lianxiao got up early and began to dress up. When she appeared in front of everyone, she immediately attracted the adoring gazes of several male students. Especially Ji Lingfeng, his eyes were filled with adoration. Junior sister Lianxiao, today I truly understand what it means to be a country-toppling beauty, and what it means to be peerlessly beautiful. Although Xiao Lianqiao's mind was on Beiyu, she still enjoyed the feeling of being praised by others. She said a few words modestly, but her face was filled with pride. At this moment, she saw Bei Yu walking over and immediately took 2 steps forward to greet him. Bei Yu, you're here. Bei Yu lightly acknowledged her, but his gaze did not fall on her at all. Xiao Lianxiao could not help but feel a little disappointed. She had already forgotten about the time when he had helped that bitch Yan Qingqing slap her, and he actually did not even look at her. But it did not matter. When they reached the mission location, she would use a little trick to make him submit. If he took her innocence, even if he wanted to deny it, he would not be able to. As for that Yan Qingqing, HMPH, she dared to snatch her man away from Xiao Lianxiao, only death awaited her. Ji Lingfeng saw that Xiao Lianqiao's gaze was glued to Bei Yu, and his expression instantly turned ugly. He sneered, Bei Yu, why are you so late? You really have no manners. Bei Yu looked at him indifferently. The gathering time is the hour, PM, not late. Chapter 57:16 was definitely Xiao Jiu's doing. Ji Lingfeng choked and said exasperatedly, even though the departure time is 2 o'clock, Director Xiaofu has already arrived, yet you only just arrived. Do you still have reason? Without waiting for Bei Yu to speak, Xiao Lianxiao glared at Ji Lingfeng. What's being late if it's not past the gathering time? Director Xiaofu didn't even say anything. What are you blabbering about? Ji Lingfeng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. What was so good about this Bei Yu that Xiao Lianxiao would protect him like this? He was really hateful. Since he had blocked his path, then during this experiential learning, he should send him on his way so that he wouldn't be an eyesore. At this moment, Director Xiaofu said indifferently, since everyone is here, let's set off. Because of the incident in Thunder Valley last time, because He Xinjiu had complained, Director Xiaofu was taken advantage of by Director Hu of the Spirit Energy Branch to reduce a few of his positions. He was rather angry. Because of the relationship between Bei Yu and Yan Qingqing, Director Xiaofu did not like Bei Yu. However, Xiao Lianxiao begged him, so he accepted the task of leading the team. Director Xiaofu led a group of people out of the upper academy. Before they reached the dock, they saw a huge wave in the distance, followed by an earth-shaking beast roar. Director Xiaofu turned pale with fright and shouted, not good. It's a beast tide. Quickly, you guys retreat back to the academy. PLL arranged the defense. Xiao Lianxiao and the others' faces instantly turned pale. Didn't there just happen to be a beast tide a few days ago? Why was there another beast tide? Recently, there was a beast tide and lightning strikes. What happened to the 10 Directions Academy? Bei Yu's expression was as indifferent as ever, but he was speechless in his heart. This must be little Jiu's doing. No wonder he kept asking him what time he was leaving today. It turned out that he had such an idea. But it was also good. He originally didn't want to carry out any mission. He immediately turned around and left without the slightest hesitation. Ji Lingfeng coldly snorted, did you see that? Bei Yu, this coward, when he saw the beast tide, he only knew to take care of himself. He also didn't know to take care of the others. Junior sister Lian Xiao, you don't have to be afraid. I'll protect you when you return to the upper house. Xiao Lianxiao ignored him. She took 2 steps forward and caught up with Bei Yu, since there's no way for me to go out on a mission today, why don't you help me solve some of my cultivation problems? Bei Yu stopped in his tracks. His indifferent gaze finally landed on Xiao Lianxiao. Xiao Lianqiao's heart immediately rejoiced. It seemed that her meticulous dressing today was still effective. She said that regardless of family background or appearance, she was 100 times stronger than that Yan Qingqing. There was no reason for Bei Yu to abandon her and choose that Yan Qingqing. Boom! Xiao Lianxiao was shocked. She looked up and saw that the few boulders that were scattered on the side had turned into dust. Bei Yu said coldly, I'm warning you for the last time. I already have someone I like. If you continue to pester me, those boulders will end up like you. After Bei Yu finished speaking, he turned around and left. Xiao Lianxiao was embarrassed, angry, and hateful. However, the person she hated was Yunchujo. It was all because of this bitch, Yen Qingcheng. If she hadn't shamelessly bewitched Beiyu, why would Beiyu treat her like this? This bitch really deserved to die. Hei Xinzhou, who was hated to death by Xiao Lianxiao, was currently sending a voice transmission talisman to Beiyu in the Dharma Hall. Although the beast tide was coming, with the experience from last time, after a moment of panic, lecturer Ouyang continued to teach everyone. Brother Beiyu, I heard that there's a beast tide. Woo-woo, the roars of those sea beasts are too scary, my little heart almost jumped out of my chest. Oh right, there's a beast tide. Are you guys unable to go out on missions as scheduled? You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.